in the sense that Truth is playing a new character, reasons that most of you are aware of. And those who aren't will find out soon enough. So, any comments, questions before we dive into it?
One stupid question. On all the stuff in Roll20, it's AC and then PP. I'm guessing AC is armor class. What does the PP stand for?
Passive perception.
Ah, okay.
That's just there so that when I don't forget to look at Roll20, I don't keep asking the same stupid questions.
Yeah, I only did it because I saw everybody else was doing it.
It's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I think at some point I asked people to put it up, and I'm glad that everyone's doing it.
I haven't used Roll20 in like 6 years. If you can tell me how to change it, I'm more than happy to change it. Oh, I think I just found it. Never mind.
If you go to the cog, you'll see something called personalization and display. That's where we do it.
Yeah, I got it right here. Sorry about that.
All right. Anything else?
Yeah.
Excellent. So, I think we're going to leave those of you who are engaged in various sorts of hijinks on hold for the moment. And we're going to pick up... I'll have to learn new names. Otherwise, I'm going to end up like Solus.
I wasn't going to say it.
I'll say it myself. All right, so Thea and Marion. You two meet one another because you're traveling from Neverwinter to Saltmarsh for reasons of your own. There is probably a cart driver and his kid who's taking you along the high road north past Tribor and past Sanctuary, and then along this path that runs on the coast of the Signet River over to Saltmarsh. So it's a trip that takes about 4 days. So you have had a chance to chat, if that's what you want to do. You can at least describe yourselves to one another. And if you want to say anything in character as you're traveling, you're free to do so.
Would you like to go there, Thea?
Sure, if you don't mind.
Go right ahead.
Well, Thea's usually dressed in an ostentatious a little bit outfit. Nothing too outlandish, but definitely shows that the individual is more of a entertainer, for lack of a better word. Showy clothes, obviously has some entertainment equipment behind him, musical instruments, a flute, some drums, some weird contraption that has several ceramic-looking pieces sticking out of it, like a bag with pipes sticking out of it.
You mean a pipe bag?
A bad pipe?
I don't know how common that item is around here, so I don't know if there's what else wrong with it. But
I mean, I guess people who listen to music would recognize it. It's not completely outlandish.
all right. She seems pretty human, for lack of a word, and I know the imagery shows off her ears, but she normally tries to keep her ears hidden. They would normally have tried to engage she stands about 5'9", brown hair, looks fairly young, but not too young. She would have tried to do invoke conversations with you. Unsure, just because they're just to pass the time around here. But if not that here, they're just playing their music and just waiting for stuff to happen.
The first thing she's going to notice about Marion is that she has never spoken a single word in the entire trip. When she does address her, it's very obvious that she is acknowledging her words and taking everything down, but there's no verbal replies. Everything is through expression or, action. There are shrugs, there are arched eyebrows. She makes very little noise except for breathing. She is a relatively tall woman, about 6'1", 6'2". She is noticeably rail thin to the point of being gaunt, but that's difficult to see underneath all the layers she has on. The only bare skin showing on her at all is the abnormally pale skin of her face. She wears a long black coat. Her hands are covered with leather gloves, and she always has a black bag nearby. It looks like just kind of a large official bag. And whenever it moves, you can hear metallic jingling inside of
it. Figuring out your little inconsistencies, Thea does not push you to conversation, but does engage in lightly banter. If she can, figuring out your whole situation. She doesn't push. I guess again, she doesn't push the conversation, but she does try to at least entertain both you and the rest of the ship, playing music from time to time.
Marion, for the large part of the trip, keeps to herself. She doesn't actively push people away, but whenever she has a chance, she tends to slink to one side of the cart or just isolate herself, and she watches. She sits there silently and observes everything around her. Just takes it all in.
So the person who's providing your transportation is this middle-aged, balding man named Jed. His son is Kay, and he's maybe 11. So the cart driver is kind of like what you would expect a taxi driver to be like in our world. He tries to chat you up shortly after you leave, but he gives up pretty quickly on Marion and basically concentrates most of his attention on Thea.
It's quick to share the conversation.
Yeah, he's definitely like
the Uber driver trying to strike up a conversation with the passenger that wants none of it.
Well, I mean, yeah, you figured that he would probably bug you more if it was just you. But since he has another object of attention, he basically gives up pretty quickly. So, yeah, I mean, he kind of starts out making small talk. He definitely mentions how unsafe it is for women to travel by themselves. He is a bit flirty. It's not clear whether he's married or not. It is, I guess, a bit unusual to see a guy and his son without any other family members.
Do you mind if I ask if that is mainly directed at Thea, or is if he just out of the blue decides to try it on Marion just once for shits and giggles?
He kind of tries it on both of you at the start.
I would say that immediately after he tries it on Marion, she opens up that bag of hers and takes out what looks like a selection of very, very polished scalpels and starts slowly working a whetstone against their edges while staring directly at him.
Yeah, and that's probably the point at which he gives up. So, yeah, I mean, he He doesn't really offer much in the way of useful information. He talks a little bit about how there are these goblin poachers that come beyond the pale, even though they're not supposed to, and don't necessarily have permission. How they kind of come to the coast to collect these whelk shells, which they, but not only they, the colonists as well, use as currency alongside the usual copper, silver, and gold. He mentions a few things about various strange creatures occasionally coming down from the mountains or out of the woods to the west, which is native territory, and how frightening they are. He says that he saw an owlbear once from far away, and how he'll never forget it. And actually, he tells the story several times, and every time he tells the story, the owlbear grows by 1 foot.
Nice.
The humors the man, or the young man, playing up the flirty bit here, but not trying to push it either. If he continues and comfortably, Thea makes it very clear that it's just conversation piece. But she does try to get as much information out of the guy as she can from about the area.
I mean, what he basically tells you is that the towns on the seacoast are pretty small by the standards of the old world, just because they weren't really established all that long ago. But that people who come here from Ulthos, if they work hard and play by the rules, they will succeed. Most of the people are hardworking. He says that some of the towns do have a collection of rather strange individuals. He definitely mentions elves and dwarves. But he says that, there are assorted others, people with purple hair, and he says that he heard that there was a mermaid active in one of the northern cities at some point not long ago. And the natives occasionally come in to trade, more rarely to cause trouble. But basically he says that ever since the treaty was signed and the Goblin War is finished, things are pretty peaceful. There are some rumors of Sanctuary getting involved with a group of orcs recently. The orcs never this particular group of orcs never signed the treaty, so there have been limited engagements with them. But on the whole, the treaty is holding, and both sides and the various colonies are also respecting it. Sanctuary is a city that you will be traveling through on your way.
The intended destination of the guy we're hitching with is SaltMarsh proper, correct?
Yeah. He does ask. Initially, he asks both of you. I guess he continues more actively with Thea. He asks what you're going to SaltMarsh for.
Business. I'm going in there for just business reasons.
I think Marion would wait until there's kind of a lull in the conversation, when it's just the sound of the cart going down the road and everyone's kind of doing their own thing. Then she is going to abruptly stand up to her full height and just lock eyes with the driver, even though he's probably distracted with handling the cart. She's going to kind of quizzically tilt her head like a bird that's observing something, and she opens her mouth. What comes out is 3 words, and they sound like a horrific... Every syllable is covered in phlegm and being dragged along sandpaper on the way out of her tongue. and all she says is, "SaltMarsh, gang warrior." And then she just glares at him. No, not glares. She just kind of stares at him like that 1,000-yard stare that looks into your soul.
Yeah, he kind of makes square eyes, but like you clearly see that not only is he a little bit scared, but he also doesn't have any idea what you just said. The kid is definitely scared, and he kind of gets up his seat, comes up next to his father, and like has his father wrap him in his cloak.
She just kind of sniffs slightly and then sits back down without another word.
All right. Well,
With that awkwardness going on here, Thea will start playing some music, I guess, to try and make things more comfortable or less awkward.
yeah, that definitely puts people in a somewhat better mood after that. So, after 3 days of travel along the high road, you arrive at Sanctuary. And Sanctuary is a rather strict place.
Show you
partly because it's on
my
the frontier,
legion,
partly
my
because
nasty
it's
legion,
run
pallet breaking,
by
gen kicking build.
a religious group called the Harpers, who are
Not a fan of Eerie Button though.
other radical worshippers of Palor.
I think somebody had me try that on Monday.
You have been to other cities, especially across the ocean, and I think both of you have. You notice that there are no other religious establishments here other than one that Harper's patronize called the Courtyard of Fire.
They dropped off in Sanctuary. Interesting.
Which is like a rather imposing building fronted by
Is
two
it
massive...
like
Yeah, I think I played that build
stop
on Monday.
in Sanctuary to like get more supplies and fix up the cart before they keep going.
In part because the high road doesn't go directly to SaltMarsh, and he doesn't want to risk roughing it across the scrub. Partly because he doesn't want to risk breaking any wheels, and partly because he just feels safer staying on the main roads.
The second that the cart actually stops within the town, Marion very conspicuously takes off the gloves she has and puts them inside of her coat. And then she just sticks as close to the cart as possible and tries to look just as nonchalant as possible. Just reads a book, just minding her own business.
Okay. So yeah, he says that he knows a guy who runs a hostel in town, so he'll talk to him. So he makes arrangements for that third night. I'm assuming that the money that you're starting with is the money that you're starting with after you arrive in SaltMarsh, and that you've already paid him.
Okay.
Unless you really want to pay him again.
I don't think the ride's been good enough that he deserves a tip.
I don't know what he would have had to do to deserve a tip from you.
Talk less.
Yeah, well, those are usually not the guys who drive carts, but perhaps you'll find one.
What was the price for the trip?
The price for the trip, I think, would have been something like £20 each. Or, well, since you're starting out from Neverwinter, 20 guilders.
20 gold?
Yeah. So, unless you want to do something in Sanctuary.
How big is Sanctuary?
Sanctuary is about 1,500 people.
So they're staying the night if there's a hostel, even if it's just one night in overlay, so that they can get sleep and everything. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. If they're gonna be staying here, then what Marion will do is she will find the largest concentration of people she can be, even if it's like a market square or people loitering in front of the inn, and she will make her way towards it. And what her intention is she's going to open up that bag of hers, and inside she's going to pull out a sign that has written in like a crisp, clean hand, medical services. And she's going to set that down on the ground next to her feet, fold her arms in front of her, both of them holding that bag, and just wait.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, if you do that, pretty soon a figure in a black frock with two armed men trailing shortly behind him comes forward, and he says, "Ma'am? You're not from here, are you?"
She looks at him attentively, shakes her head no.
Says, "Well, you have no charter to practice medicine here in Sanctuary, then. So I
if
would...
possible, can she hold up a solitary finger as kind of like a wait 1 second gesture, and then reach into her coat and pull out... They, by now, would probably look very crinkled and yellowed. They're very obviously old, but they would probably be the papers she needed initially for her practice back in Neverwinter before, or back in her original city, back before it got trashed. And it does, at the very least, say she is a certified mortician. And she was like, hold it out for, here, take a look at this.
He glances at it briefly, and he says, "Please, we have no soliciting here, especially by people who are not licensed in the new Albie colony. So, I understand you've been traveling for a while. Go inside the hostel, get some rest."
She inclines her head, just starts packing up immediately, doesn't make any fuss.
Okay. The driver, who I guess was kind of watching this scene from just inside the establishment, he says, "Yeah, you should not trouble these people. They are very insular, not crazy about outsiders, especially those who do not believe like they do. They have very strict rules here. We're just staying the one night, and then we're continuing."
She's really got no response. She just kind of stares at him again, and I would think by now he would realize that when she does that, the conversation isn't really progressing anywhere.
Yeah, he actually, by this point, had no interest in striking up a conversation with you. You figure he probably
his
said
own
that.
ass, basically.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't want any of this to rebound against him and his kid, so he's basically just trying to make sure that the situation doesn't get out of hand. So as soon as he says what he says, he turns around and goes inside. He doesn't really wait for your reaction. So unless there's something else, you spend the night. It is very quiet here during the night, but it's not a large town, so it's not particularly unusual. And the next night, pack up, load the cart, and leave town. You're going along a smaller dirt road. The high road was actually paved with boulders. But yeah, this road runs along a river, and the driver basically just follows the river for the entire day until you begin smelling the sea nearby. And I know I'm probably going to regret saying this, but yeah, you see like seagulls swirling overhead. So Jed pays the toll for entering the town. You do see, I mean, I guess it's kind of an exaggeration to call it a skyline, but clearly they have multiple religious establishments here, so it seems like a more open place than Sanctuary. And as he pulls into town after having paid the toll, he says, "Do you know where you're staying?"
I got a place around here. A place I frequent enough.
Marion is going to lock eyes with Thea, and she will reach inside of her giant coat and pull out her coin purse. She's going to knock 2 fingers against it and kind of tilt her head to the side again and go, "Share room."
Sure, I don't mind.
This you could call it a smile, but if it's a smile, it's a ghost of one. It looks positively sickly. Just briefly flashes across her face, and then she, sinks back into her coat and kind of angles herself behind you. Almost like she's shadowing you.
Oh, this isn't the second time I got killed by a fire.
So Jed says, "There is a respectable place in the center of town, but it costs a pretty penny, and I wish I could stay there, but I can't afford it. Other than that, there are 2 flop houses over by the docks. Neither one of them is completely respectable, but one of them is definitely not a place for..." And he covers his son's ears and says, "There are definitely people of ill repute over at the Merry Mermaid. So I myself, when I'm in town, I stay at the Scale and Tail. Although
Well,
it gets a rough crowd there as well."
well, the Scale and Tail sounds like the most suitable place for us. And thank you for your assistance, sir. The travel here was lovely. Thea goes into her coin purse and pulls out an extra gold coin.
Oh, thank you.
Not.
If you ever need traveling services, especially if you're heading back down to Neverwinter, definitely ask to see if I'm around, and I will be glad to accommodate you. And he underlines the word "you."
Thea chuckles. I'll keep it in mind.
So he takes you over to the docks, and
given Marion's reason for being here, if she's keeping an eye out as they move through the city, is there like visible signs of damage or anything, or has it mostly been cleaned up in the travel time and everything? Does it seem like, some shit went down?
Not that you can tell. Everything looks fairly orderly. I mean, it's definitely more chaotic than Sanctuary. There's more trash on the streets, especially as you get close to the docks and close to the Scale and Tail. You do see a few drunk sailors about. Actually, not that many. But it doesn't.
Fires, no visible signs of combat or anything. Just kind of a shit.
No. Yeah. You don't see like burnt out buildings, or I guess another thing that you commonly see in towns where there's social strife going on is like people gouge the boulders that pave the streets and use them as projectiles. So yeah, you don't see that either. Yeah, so as you approach the Scale and Tail, you see a signpost hanging outside. It appears to be some sort of bipedal crocodile or something like that, with a very long tail and a big smile on his face.
Quaint.
Yeah. If you go inside, there's it actually, the first thing that strikes you is that, especially given the report that you were just given about it, it's relatively quiet. There is a bald man with kind of a gray tunic who appears to be in charge of the place. But there's a couple of people around who look like they've probably been drinking since morning and who are not terribly awake at this point. But yeah, there isn't really a big crowd. So
I think Marion will take the lead uncharacteristically. She will push past the politely, not like shoulder checker, just kind of like slink around, and will very dutifully make her way to the front desk, or what serves as the front desk. It might be a man working at a bar, I suppose. The gentleman in the gray tunic. And she will rap her knuckles against the surface to try and garner his attention.
Taking advantage of Marion going forward, Thea gets uncharacteristically quiet as she slowly scouts out the establishment for someone that she's looking for. Someone that she kind of needs to engage with for her line of work.
Okay.
She moves forward, but she's keeping an eye out for her contact.
Yeah, there isn't really a desk. I mean, it's sort of a place where a bunch of long tables are set up. There isn't even really a bar. You get the sense that there's a kitchen in the back. But the man in the gray tunic comes forward and he says, "Good evening. I am Ren. How may I help you?"
Marion kind of opens her mouth, stops herself, and she immediately knows she's going to regret actually going through the motions to say this. Not only because it physically hurts her to speak, but she knows it's not going to be a welcome wagon. She kind of looks him square in the eye and just goes, "Rooms, double dead."
He says, "Well, if you want rooms..."
She shakes her head and puts one finger up.
Yeah, we do have a flop house on the other side of the alley. This is mostly a tavern. I have to warn you, though, that there is going to be a lot of people staying tonight. So if you want to reserve a room, it's going to cost £3.
Wow.
And we don't really have double beds.
Is it logical to assume he's saying £3 per bed?
He seems to be saying £3 per room.
She's gonna reach into her coin purse, pull out 3 coins, and just hold it out to him expectantly with her arched brow.
3 coins or 3 gold
It's like,
coins?
are they 3 gold?
I don't know what the colloquialism for the currency is yet, so
I was like is pound gold or is pound silver, or is he actually asking about £3 worth of coin, like £3 total coins? Okay. We heard Gelder a while ago, and I was confused now because it's a lot of terms for just gold.
Yeah, guilders are in Neverwinter. If you appear confused, he'll explain that pounds are gold, shillings are silver, and pennies are copper.
okay, and then she'll pull out three gold coins and just kind of hold it out to him.
He says, all right, you have a room with a bed in the flop house. Can I get you something to eat and drink?
She'll just kind of shrug her shoulders and nod slightly.
All right. So yeah, he disappears briefly. Brings you a couple of bowls of what appears to be fish stew. And then he says, beer, wine, something stronger?
Marion would insist on water, but probably given where they are, that's a terrible idea, so she would just kind of motion towards a keg and hope he gets the message.
All right. So he brings you a couple of tankards of beer, for which he charges you 1 silver, 1 shilling each. And he actually doesn't appear to be that much of a talker either. You
Get along famously.
yeah. So after he serves you, he kind of just begins staring off into space. Your driver comes. He eats quickly, feeds his son, and then takes his leave after saying goodbye. But shortly after he leaves, you begin to hear the sounds of a large throng of people approaching.
I think Marion will wait until Thea is finished doing whatever she's doing, and then she'll just kind of find a place preferably that lets her have her back to the wall and kind of just set the food out and indicate, hey, here's yours, it's already paid for.
Thea calmly and quietly takes it and then follows you to the place that you were back to. Her eyes unusually focused on the crowd.
I think Marion is of the same mind. It'd be just both of them just staring at the crowd.
Yeah, pretty soon the crowd actually materializes. They sort of burst through the door. Most of them appear to be very inebriated sailors, but they also seem to be in a fairly high state of excitement. I guess like what you overhear, they're all kind of like shouting over one another. as they're also ordering drinks as they all pile in. But the main things that you hear are, that was the best fight since Kothar Drazer. And
Nice.
the other thing that they seem to be talking about is some sort of exchange of money. You definitely hear snippets along the lines of, if I don't see that 10 gold by tomorrow morning, there's going to be the devil to pay. And actually, I guess as you're there, do see, probably even before the crowd files in, a curious, very small man sitting in the corner.
Curious as in comparatively sticks out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, definitely, probably shorter than anyone you've ever seen. But I mean, judging by the face, looks like an adult rather than a child.
How are they dressed? Is it, if she realizes she's in a port city, does it look out of the norm?
Definitely doesn't look like a sailor. How are you dressed, Algalon?
Algalon has a short quarterstaff with a wooden shield, has leather armor with some common clothes underneath, but mostly that sticks out is the shoulders made of leaves. The shoulder pads made of leaves.
Are they actively wearing like leather armor as we speak?
Yes.
Is the equipment visible?
Oh, yes.
Then
And he appears to be unusually happy.
I think immediately after she sits down and does a quick scope of things, she immediately turns her attention and just bores her eyes into this person and watches them like a vulture watches a slowly dying animal about to croak in the desert.
That's a lovely way to describe it.
It's just like waiting for it to do something.
Yeah, so what have you been doing? You've been like feeding the poor or something?
Not just the poor, just anybody who needs a meal. I had 2 gold that I could spare, and just helping out and paying homage to Paler Day.
Yeah, you probably fed the 2 drunks that are now nodding off. Yeah, the place is basically empty for most of the evening until these 2 women, along with a middle-aged man and a boy, who show up. The middle-aged man and the boy don't really seem to pay you much mind. They just kind of like eat quickly and disappear. The women, I guess, hang around longer.
Gotcha.
We also probably knows Marion's staring at him at this point.
Yeah, that seems hard to miss.
Unflinchingly, I should add.
Right.
Then I would gather my things and go up to the barkeep. Excuse me, do you need more water?
Kind of looks at you strangely, and he says, water?
Oh, yeah.
Why would you want?
Oh, no, I'm going to offer you clean water. I know it's kind of hard for your establishment to get some, so I was just wondering if you needed a barrel of water.
He says, never touch this stuff.
Cleaning, washing, bathing, nothing?
We can clean with the seawater, but I wouldn't drink it.
What do you make tea in?
Tea?
Yeah. Do you not use fresh water?
Well, I mean, I can send a boy out to the well. You need to brew some tea. But
Okay.
that's not really our main business.
Well, enjoy Paler Day. I was just offering to help. I have another matter to attend to, so if you'll excuse me. And then I'll break away. And then walk past the table with the two new women, and then halfway through passing, I'll stop and turn. I'm sorry, do I know you?
Just keep staring at him. Not a word.
Do you need assistance? I'm willing to help.
Something about that tickles her, and she laughs, but the sound that escapes her is anything but a laugh. It sounds probably closer to a death knell. In the end, she just kind of very mutedly shrugs her shoulders.
Thea interjects. Apologies. We only just arrived and just taking things in. If you don't mind though, might I have a moment of your time to ask you some questions about the city?
Maybe, but is that a person? Because that sounded like a dying bird I heard back from my village.
Marion is going to point at Thea and open her mouth, and she's going to say, "She's the charm."
I can understand why, yes.
Look back to being quiet.
Yes, you do the talking. That would be most pleasant.
My apologies. Am I taking up your time?
Oh no, I came to you.
Oh then, may I ask what is going on around here? Seems quite lively today.
It's Paler Day, of course.
Oh, that makes some sense back in Sanctuary. That's where they're doing it.
Oh, are you from Sanctuary?
We passed through here on the way here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, they seemed quite...
Terrible. Yes, they are very terrible people.
Marion makes a hand gesture. It's not the kind of thing you should do in front of schools. She apparently doesn't think much of Sanctuary.
I'm sorry, you would like one what?
She just...
I don't
She
have
holds
anything
up
to sell you.
She holds up both her hands. Is like, eh.
Well then, is there anything going on in the city that one newcomer should be aware of? Any dangers, troubles?
Oh, probably. I'm not from here. Apparently there was an issue with the council and council people, and one of them left. I think we're trying to find them.
Ah.
Marion immediately speaks up. Who is we?
Well, myself and my friends. They'll be back shortly. I think they went on a boat for a fight, but as it's Paler Day, I can't associate myself with that. So I stayed behind to try and help the town.
Very noble of you.
Oh, that reminds me. I have something I need to do, and then I'll walk outside the tavern.
Polite fellow.
When I go outside, I would like... Would I be able to cast Skywrite, and instead of words, could I do a symbol of Palor?
I suppose.
Okay, that's what I'm gonna do then. I'll go ahead and link the spell for you just in case you need to see.
Okay. It is dark at this point, so...
Oh yeah, I meant to ask. It's the new moon, right?
It is just past the new moon.
Alright, so it's pretty dark.
Just the hint of a sliver of a crescent.
Alright, I'll go ahead and do it anyway. I feel like I need to do it.
Okay.
Can I have Marion not so subtly follow him out into the night air?
Sure. So, yeah, one
just
of you.
guessing, Ivan. the crowd that came into the tavern, that's our ship.
Yeah. So I guess
As the lights cast down, you will see a very hunched over Minigard lurched over one particular person, either Ralston or another sailor. But he will have one arm hunched over, very busted looking. A swelling on his cheek is already starting to come in. A black eye is very evident on the other side. It looks like there was one hell of a fight, and he'll look back and just point a thumb.
Drazers know better.
And he'll just drop his head again, looking very weak.
As you say that, Drazer walks in, basically nonchalantly, just kind of walking in.
Would this occur before or after is it Algalon?
Algalon.
Left? Did they come in?
Well, I guess you're outside.
Minigard is limping
Algalon's
off the ship right now.
So they're like coming towards us as we go out.
Yeah, Algalon is in the process of creating some weird wispy clouds in the dark night air that are actually quite difficult to see. And as he's doing this, the throng of people begins to approach, and first ones are the ones whose conversations you overheard earlier, and then you see the two of you should actually describe what you look like aside from various bumps and bruises that you've accrued, because you definitely look pretty different from just about anyone that you've seen here.
Coming and stumbling slightly, slowly limping out of a ship down the boardwalk, you will see a almost 7 foot tall, covered in reddish to almost amberish like hair covering the entire body. A set of chainmail adorned with a long orange and red, almost toga-like scarf that's been wrapped around him ornately. A set of filed down horns that seem to have been slowly growing over time. A very busted up looking but bovine looking face and figure. However, is looking over in the general direction of the small person, raising a hand, which is now gauntleted with a large set of metal gauntlets, and he's just looking over.
I wouldn't mind a little healing, if you don't mind.
How tall is Algalon off the top of your head, if you don't mind me asking?
No worries. I'm 3'1".
Okay, so as Marion sees these two coming towards, she's going to open up that bag of hers again. She will take out that same sign that says medical services. She will put on one of the gloves, and then she will gently tap the sign with one of her fingers, and she'll cast light on the sign so that it is the focal point of this kind of bluish glow. And then she's just going to hold it up above his head and look expectantly at these two people limping towards them.
Minigard will wince slightly, stepping to the side, and he'll let you get a full look of Drazer behind him.
Drazer walks in. He's 7 foot, almost 8 inches tall, covered in tattoos. He has no real body armor on or anything like that. He has just really deep blue eyes and a bluish gray hair. And he is basically covered in tattoos and scars. And he basically walks in without much of an issue at this point. He's actually even really jovial, really happy. Like, this was a good fight. He's just ecstatic.
Oh, wonderful. You're all back. Oh, you need some assistance. Drazer, do you need assistance as well?
I could use a little bit, but I'm for the most part somewhat okay for right now.
No worries. Please come here. And then in the middle of town, I'm going to go into my celestial form of Chalice. So you guys see this 3-foot-tall halfling. The body becomes a constellation where the joints are stars, and there is a faint blue line that connects them. And the constellation is in the form of a chalice that glows bright. I am going to go ahead and use Twinned Spell for level 2. And we will do level 2 Cure Wounds on Minigard for 18.
Oh, that's much better.
Twin Spell it to Minigard for 10. Chalice form to... Are you still looking pretty bad, Minnow?
He is looking a lot better.
Chalice goes to Drazer, and the second cast of the Chalice also goes to Drazer for a total of 13.
You can target the same person with Cure Wounds, can you?
It's a second spell. It's a second version of the spell. I twin the spell. So technically I cast it twice.
Out of morbid curiosity, what class is that? Cleric? Is it a...
This is a
Sorcerer.
druid.
Oh, that'd be why.
And the I took Meta Magic Adept for my feet.
Whoa, that's how you did it.
Yes. Welcome to the Chain Healer.
I thought you were going sorcerer. My bad.
Nope. All good. I'm straight druid.
So yeah, all of this lighting up does elicit the attention of the throng that's filing in.
Figuring as much.
if,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, a couple people make comments to the effect of, "Well, I thought I saw everything tonight."
Minigard Drazer, if you are still not feeling well, I can finish this if you need.
You'll notice that most of the bruising is gone, but there's still like the black eye still injured there. Apart from that, he seems to be okay and in control.
And Drazer, are you feeling all right? Or
Drazer's probably gonna have like a pretty bloody nose, and then maybe missing a tooth.
all right, then I shall cast first level Cure Wounds on Minigard for 6, and the Chalice going to Drazer for 7.
At this point, Minigard will stretch, let his muscles crack, and
Oh, that is so much better. Thank you, Alkaline. I greatly appreciate that.
No
You do
worries.
see Ralston like traipsing along with them. Marion probably doesn't actually notice him just because he seems relatively normal in this crowd. But Algalon certainly sees him. You do not, however, see Sebastian.
Oh, Ralston, welcome back. Was everything okay? Where is the other human? Sabathon. Sebastian, right.
Yeah, I guess I'd be walking fairly depressed, like my head held down.
life just falls out of Minigard as well.
And then after you say that, I kind of pick. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say she's gonna very pointedly dismiss the light spell, put the sign back in her bag, and kind of slink towards the crowd so she doesn't stand out quite as much. Right after, I'd say the starry form.
I'm still starry.
If you're still starry, she's gonna kind of just slink back and let you take all the attention.
Thea's watching this, her hands slowly reaching towards something in her pack after seeing the act of magic.
Okay,
Be
so
ready for something.
All right,
But watching
so
this conversation.
I guess as you're walking in, yeah, Thea sees this throng of people along with, this large bipedal bovine and this even larger humanoid walk in. The small man that you were interacting with before appears to know them. And yeah,
Some drinks might be more appropriate for this kind of news.
Oh, you would like to speak inside?
Well, would you rather us stay out here? And do you have any other plans to do tonight?
I point up to the sky, to the symbol of Palor written in the clouds. No, I think I did pretty well today.
You have something to do in the sky? Are you flying again? Is that something that you've learned to do?
Not yet, no. Although, perhaps one day.
Oh, okay.
He'll just look back up again as if he knows exactly what you're talking about, gives a slight nod of his head.
And then
Okay, let's hit this side.
I'll go ahead and drop my starry form and follow behind Minigard. Give him a pat on the thigh.
It still hurts.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah, bruising.
course.
Yes.
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 Yes, you'll have to tell me all about what happened.
Yes, Miles, rounds, please.
And he'll go into the corner.
Miles nods, but as he turns to leave, he turns toward you, Minigard, and he holds his fingers up to his lips and makes kind of a turning motion with them. And then he stares at you before he turns around and walks into the kitchen.
He'll walk over to a table that TM Marion might have noticed before, but there is a particular table in the corner where there is a large crate that has been placed instead of a bench.
There are
the table
people.
I was at. Oh, sorry.
There are people who are actively pushing you to. I mean, not like violently pushing, but they're basically like calling you over to the most centrally placed table, and they're like, Minigard, come sit here. The champions table.
Please, allow me to accompany my good battle companion and good fighting opponent. I would like to talk to him about our future fighting.
Well, you can come too, Tracer. We should discuss a possible rematch because, I mean, that was awesome.
In due time, we have a little bit of business to attend to for now. Later, though.
Oh, you
keep
beat
the drinks going.
You beat Drazer. Does that mean you're the champion now?
I guess.
I'll just look over at Drazer.
They don't seem to be taking no for an answer. They're like, one of them comes over with a tray full of drinks, and he begins like handing them out to you as they're trying to kind of like shuffle you over to the table where they're all sitting.
Excuse me? Is Minigard obviously looking uncomfortable with all the attention at the moment?
Minigard looks how do you say, stoic, to say the least. He looks like he's okay with the situation, but also wanting to have privacy in a sense of
so the distraction would not be unwelcomed?
No, it would not be.
Seeing the nature here, and it's just like there's an important conversation, Thea looks over to Marion, says, find a nice corner to hide in. I'm going to put on a bit of a show.
Marion's going to put on her other glove. She will tap herself on the chest, and she'll cast invisibility, and she will just disappear from sight.
Thea finds whatever corner she can that looks like it could be good for a showing in here, and exclaims loudly out, well, I just heard today is the day of Paylor. I feel appropriate that we have a little bit of song for the occasion. Anyone got any recommendations? You guys hear this short woman who just seems, not short, average-sized woman, just suddenly making out a bombastic voice, trying to draw attention. wearing colorful clothes. Wearing
yeah,
colorful clothing. Sorry. Go ahead.
a bunch of the people from the throng pipe in and they say, if you're a musician, you should sing a song extolling our great new champion, Minigard, who defeated Drazer in an epic bout. And then there was, and he just kind of like stops in mid-sentence.
Sure.
Yeah, Minigard, best fighter with the best right hand. The only thing better than his right hand is his left hand.
Oh, but don't be pedantic and use like "we are the champions" or anything. That just seems a little on the nose.
No, that's exactly what we want. We are the champions.
Oh,
Unfortunately, I am a slave to the people, and I must, if I get a request, I should perform it. So, you see this woman take out a lute and begins to start strumming and playing the song that you most likely have heard in her travels as song. Starts adding in some epics of Minigard and his obvious strength versus his just as dubiously strong opponent, drawing as much attention in as she can. She's making a show of it too. She is moving her body. She is dancing on the ground here. She is singing. She is clearly she's getting close to other people, trying to engage them and to also sing as well. Obviously away from Minigard's group, though.
Roll performance.
Can I, by chance, try and get a bit of a chant, like stomping my feet, stop, like hitting the tables in time to give her an advantage?
Advantage
for
just general performance?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I want to try and draw as much attention to her as possible.
17.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, they're pretty warmed up by the events earlier in the night and whatever they've had to consume. So yeah, they join along. I mean, if there's any kind of simple refrain that they can sing along with, they'll definitely do that. Stomp their feet, clap their hands. So, you definitely have a Minigard anthem within the next like third of an hour or something.
Once it's very clear that she's got them into it, she looks over at Minigard and gives him a nod before going right back to the whole performance.
He'll give an awkward nod in response and just like slowly shift back to his corner spot, looking over at Algalon and the others.
Marion this entire time has her eyes peeled on Minigard and his group. The second they start moving, she is going to tail them, and she's going to try and do it as quietly as possible.
Where are you moving to?
She's tailing
the
them,
rest.
shadowing them.
No. Where are they moving? That's what I want to know.
Oh, back to the corner table.
Oh, and if needed, I am giving Marion a bardic inspiration die if she needs it for the next 10 minutes.
I will certainly.
Except Marion isn't there, as far as you can tell.
She did see me when I went invisible. But I suppose, yeah, after the fact, that makes sense.
1 second.
I think you do have to have a visible target.
No, she just needs to be able to hear me.
Which I very much can.
What are you doing, Marion? She can hear you through over this raucous crowd and your own singing.
Oh, what am I doing? I'm tailing them. I'm waiting until they sequester themselves, and I'm just kind of biding my time watching them. I would sneak if I need to, you know.
She can't hear you, is what you're saying.
Oh, and if she says something specifically towards Marion, even if it's like creepy lady, she would probably know.
I more influenced it into the song here. A small little tidbit about even if shadowy walkers hidden in sight cannot defeat minotaurs, rock its might.
That'd work.
All right. So yeah, like after Menegard helps make this into a new hit, they do kind of give you a break and whatever. You've put on a show both on the ship and here, so they're not completely heartless, and they do, leave you alone after a while.
I'll take small signatures. I'll do like small little talks and small little pictures, like it's a little side little thing, and then I'll just go ahead and let it quiet down.
All right. So, are you sitting inside in the corner, or are you filing out?
I'll make myself comfortable on the crate.
Okay.
I'll sit with Menegard.
Can the crate be flanked? As in, like, is there enough space behind the crate for someone to stand? Or, like, right up against the wall.
There might be, although you never know if these guys start like swinging their arms around. If you could get clocked by accident, especially if they can't see you.
There is also the fact you could be also in a bit of a splash zone with some gassy intervals back there.
She works with corpses. It's nothing she hasn't dealt with.
Fair enough.
In that case, she would just kind of stand at the front of the table, or just close enough. If there's like no seats and there's that one person that's just off to the side of the table, she's doing that, just standing there invisibly watching them like a hawk.
So yes, what happened to Sebastian? Did he decide to not join with us after all?
You could say that.
I was gonna say it was an epic fight.
Oh, I'm sure it was. I heard it was between the two of you. Seen you fight.
3. There was a third.
Well, yes, Raul was there. He doesn't look too banged up. I'm sure he got out of your grasp.
No, I've just been like really quiet and
I didn't know.
brooding.
I
Be the
didn't.
word for it since I got back.
Algalon will notice that and give a curious look.
Oh, needless to say, there was a third in the fight, and I don't think I was aware. Not entirely sure if Drazer was aware of it, but the boy decided to throw himself into the ring. I don't know exactly what he was thinking, but, well...
Sebastian, the spell slinger.
Yes, the spell slinger, the small human that was clearly
Get a
not
noble
strong.
death.
I'm sorry, a noble what?
Death.
He got a bit hit too hard.
Oh,
He got hit in the crossfire, and he got hit too hard.
oh.
Big brain, weak skull. You know how it is.
Oh, well, that's wonderful news.
Wait, what?
Well, yes. Don't you see? This is on Paler Day. So not only did he die and his soul be brought to the path by Paler's light, but this also shows me that my path lies not with being the acolyte of Palor, but protecting my friends. That's where I should have been.
Yes, that's exactly okay. You had me worried for a second there. I was wondering what you were getting at.
I don't understand.
Neither do I.
Oh, okay. Yes, no,
Okay.
that's great news. Is there going to be a service
There already was.
out at sea?
Threw his bug out the boat.
Yeah.
Service?
Well, I don't believe Palor has reign over the watery domain, but I'm sure his light will still reach him.
Is that bad?
Oh, I don't know. I'm sure it's not. All the elements are together as
Is there any
one.
bad sea gods that you might know of?
Are there any bad sea gods I might know of?
Surprisingly, a lot of sea gods are not the nicest people.
My clan
Sea-
doesn't do too much around the sea, so I'm not sure. I would probably know of maybe someone over water domain, but I don't know about sea gods.
One of the common names for the ocean you all crossed is the Seychelles Ocean. So Seychelles is actually a sea god.
Oh, okay. Seychelles, the
One.
namesake of the sea, ocean, yeah.
They bad? Are they bad? Or would they be... do you think that a vengeful human would be able to deal with this particular god and maybe come back to wreak vengeance on someone who was hit on the crossfire? By chance?
Algalon gets a very serious, stoic, and saddened look on his face and says, "Can't bring people back. Not yet."
Right. So...
But bad
That's
is a
actually-
bad is a matter of perspective. I would say no. There is no force of nature that means to do harm.
Well, I guess that could be good. He's in a good place now.
Yes.
He won't be punched anymore. Or deal with horrible orcs or us, to be perfectly honest. That guy's one lucky son of a bitch.
May we all be
Yeah.
so lucky.
Yes, hopefully.
Well, congratulations on your win.
I just like just somehow we just all hear, just out fucking some unknown form of nature, just I sure do.
Well, that's what it is. As Tracer said, he was given a good death.
I guess as a warrior, well, he wasn't really a warrior.
Oh, he was a smith.
Yes. How do smiths wish to die?
That's
Never
a good
asked
question.
one.
Probably the same way.
Oh, good for him
Not
though.
at all.
Not oh. I could see that, yes.
Well-
Marion's gonna wait until there's a lull in the conversation.
Ral, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Did you get hit in the head?
No, I lost 30 gold.
Oh. Yes, I know
Oh,
how
that-
you humans are with your money. I can understand how that's a devastating blow.
Yes, yeah, it was quite and yeah, as Minigard told you, and Sebastian died.
Much lesser concern to you.
Sorry, out of character. Oh yeah, and Sebastian died.
That's exactly how I meant it.
Okay.
Hold on. How did you lose 30 gold? I thought you would have.
feeling love today.
What was that, Minigard?
I would have thought you would have put some money on me at least.
No, well, actually, I really thought Drazer was gonna win, and then the odds were so great
Oh,
on Sebastian that I put 10 gold on him just in the off chance he won.
Minigard,
Oh.
if I were there and if I had money, I would bet on you.
oh. Thanks.
Yeah, nothing personal. I just assumed Drazer was gonna win.
Just like
It was a great
just slowly like leaning back into the crate, like just slowly recollecting the events of the past day or so.
Sebastian was the only one that believed in Minigard.
It was a hell of a fight, though.
I'm gonna go ahead and Druid craft Flower Blossom and push it over to Minigard.
All
It
right.
seems beautiful anymore. It seems very dark right now.
It's still yours.
Okay.
He'll just reach down, put it in his mouth, and just start eating it.
Just like the day we met.
Still needs seasoning.
I can't cook.
I guessed that from the first time.
Yes.
Yes.
Now there's a lull.
Marion is going to dispel invisibility, and she is standing right next to Minigard, like a hair's breadth away from his shoulder.
Magic person!
Swings.
Freak out and be like, "Oh my! It's going to steal our soul," and just take off running.
Drazer's gone.
Wait, did he just bug out?
Yep.
Yep, he just takes off running.
Marion, I'm gonna apologize for this now, but wing.
Even with that shitty roll, that is enough to hit me.
Actually, re-roll that.
Even higher.
Yeah, that is
Okay.
definitely enough to hit me.
Okay, that's why.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I tried.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I'm made of paper.
Luckily only 4 points of damage, but you'll get a solid hit to the gut with a metal gauntlet. And he'll just look up like,
Shit, I'm sorry.
and he'll just like,
have you ever like hit a tower of blocks and just watched it crumple?
he'll immediately just reach over and try and catch her. Just
Drazer had recently.
Too soon.
Have I killed this person?
You joking and laughing here, but
Raise
that- you joking and laughing, but that piece of paper is the reason you lost your fight, man.
It is.
Midogard will immediately cradle the hunched over person, just immediately turn towards Algalon.
Save her before she dies too.
I will go ahead and cast Cure Wounds at first level. For 9.
I'll take it.
I'll reach over and I'll walk over and touch her because I can't reach over the table. Yes, I can't have anyone dying in my presence. Again.
Thea immediately seeing Marion get punched though, and after interfering with magic, is gonna
Punched and falls to the ground like a fucking sack of rocks.
I'll
Marion's
pick her up.
Thea's gonna move over to this slowly, just trying to make sure, getting ready to intervene if things go south real quick.
Algalon is probably the closest. You will see Minigard is shaking, like full on, like shaking. Hands are shaking. His eyes are shifting around at the moment. He is breathing heavily, but he seems very on edge.
There are people who are like not only looking over at you, but heading toward you. And they're saying, Midgard, what's going on? Hey, someone giving you trouble? Hey,
No.
that's the champ. That's the champ.
No, she's okay. She just appeared out of nowhere. It's just, everything's fine.
Marion's just on her back, kind of spitefully looking up at the ceiling.
Algalon's trying to help you up.
Marion is currently in Minigard's hands, like full on, like bridle carried.
How big is Minigard? Is he like huge?
Oh, he's strong. He's big.
Well, I'm not saying it's hard to carry her. She weighs like nothing. I just want to try to get like a physicality thing.
So very broad shoulders, very muscled. Imagine
holding a stick of
if-
a person.
Imagine if Mike Tyson was a Minotaur.
Does he have a cute list?
Hmm?
I'm going to destroy you.
No, he does not. No, he absolutely does not.
You will notice if you do come to consciousness, a very long red beard is just hanging under you like a cushion,
Then
and
please
it is
allow me
particularly soft.
to say what I said again. She is in Minigard's arms, staring spitefully up at the ceiling.
Are you okay?
Just kind of keeps her eyes trained forward and gives this very hesitant thumbs up.
You hear
Would you
people
like-
saying, "Hey, should we call the watch? Drazer go get his buddies, or should we just throw her off the dock?"
No, she's fine. She's okay.
Oh no,
She
everything is all right. He was just startled. He's had a long
Yes.
night.
Very, very long.
I'm sorry, ma'am. Are you okay?
They look at you and they say, "Give the champ any more problems, head off the dock you go. Just so you know."
Well, Marion
That is
doesn't
very
say
fair.
anything, but in her mind, she realizes that everyone has to sleep sometime. She's gonna just kind of lightly tap Minigard's wrists. They kind of like put me down.
He'll look at the tap, not entirely sure what that means, and just sits her up, places her down onto a nearby chair, probably like nearby the rest of the group, and just like carefully places her down. Just
Maybe in the future, if you hear people calling someone a champ, maybe not sneak up behind them and just appear next to them.
Marion just kind of stares at the black medical bag on the floor and briefly considers what would happen if she took a bone saw to a champ, and then just kind of weakly nods her head.
At this point, Thea would slowly come up. I see you got. Sir Champ, my apologies for my associate. They are. They are different. I'm sorry. Here, let me take her from you.
There's
And-
and
Start.
Minigard will actually lean in at this point, getting a closer look at Marion.
She
Familiar.
does not flinch, does not show any emotion. She stares right back, like looking a predator in the eyes.
And I'll say to the woman who just walked up, to be fair, ma'am, to us, you are different.
William,
Different in behavior, sir.
is that you, Revelia?
I'm guessing that's directed at me.
Yes, he is talking to Marion.
What was that name one more time?
Aurelia.
She doesn't say anything because that's kind of her MO, but she kind of slightly inclines her head and slowly raises a brow.
He'll reach a hand over, point a finger, lift the hair up to where the forehead usually shows, takes a look, seems to have noticed something's missing and goes,
Sorry. You looked familiar for a second.
I think the moment they tried to get anywhere near her face, she would have reached into her coat and pulled out one of the scalpels she's got on hand and just kind of like, not, lashed out with it, but kind of just held it up in front of her like the
No.
porcupine's way of saying, don't even try.
No, it's okay. I thought I knew. You have a familiar face. I'm sorry.
Marion's gonna look
I'm
at
also
Thea,
sorry
point at the
for,
group and go, charm.
Yes, I know I'm not exactly charming. I apologize. It's just... Oh,
Thea just gently. May I ask that you gently put down my associate first before we go to any further discussions?
I've put her in a chair. Do
Okay.
you want me to put her on the floor? Does she
No,
want to-
I. Let's just all just get some space from each other.
Would you like me to hand her over to you?
Yes, I think that is what she is requesting.
Okay.
and he would start to reach down towards Miriam, then remembering the scalpel, will start to just slowly put his hands back down.
On second thought, maybe you should just go over to her.
I'm coming over. Now again, let's all just take a deep breath.
It's been a long day for me.
No, I could tell. You had that look about you. And again, my deepest and sincerest apologies, my associate.
It was nothing.
Oh, that
Marion
reminds me, and I'll run
looks
out and
away
go
the
find
scalpel.
Drazer.
Oops, sorry.
No,
Run out of the tavern?
yep, I just leave. Go find
Straight
Drazer.
up out of the building.
Yep, and I'm gonna go try and find Drazer.
Admit that other individual's reaction was slightly extreme.
Marion's gonna put away the scalpel once their hands are finally off her, and she will return to her quickly becoming customary spot directly behind Thea, like some sort of gigantic pallid shadow.
Now, Mr. Minigard, I heard, correct?
Yes, that is what I'm called.
So, my sincerest apologies. This is Marianne. I'm Thea. We are newcomers to the city.
I should point out, Marion has never told anyone her name.
Sorry. Sorry, I misheard that. Sorry.
It's okay.
This is my associate, Mary. That's in the common name, right? Mary?
Close enough.
Yeah.
And I'm Thea. Again, we are newcomers to this town, and we're also, I take it we were just getting a little bit too engaged in the festivities. She has some oddities that I try to keep an eye on her. So,
Well,
I assume there's no hard feelings, of course, correct?
no, none at all. To be perfectly honest, I probably did more damage to her than she did to me. So,
No,
I should be the one apologizing.
oh no, it's no troubles. If any harm comes to her, I'm capable of taking care of it. I assumed they're also as well, but
Well, yes, you see, we have just come back from dealing with, a little bit of fighting, made some money, you know how it is. Entertaining, stuff like that.
Yeah.
We might have lost someone out there. Someone that was pretty okay.
My
But,
sympathies.
Yes, it's a little unwise to, just burst out in front of someone who knows how to fight, like right next to them. It kind of just triggers.
I gotta admit here, I'm surprised how a 6-foot-tall woman managed to sneak up on a group like you.
Well, mainly because of the fact that she came out of nowhere. She was apparently standing next to me this entire time.
And he'll just look down to where Marion was standing for, and then just looks back.
So,
You must have been quite engaged in conversation then.
yes, must have been. So, what exactly brings you lot here?
Oh, traveling, work. I'm an entertainer by trade.
Another one. Nice. So are you the fighting kind or are you the musical kind?
I'm more of a music musician myself here, but I'm not afraid of a fight if necessary. I'm not a brawler.
I would be going against the people in this group. Trust me on that.
Allegan left, didn't he?
Yeah, Algalon went out.
Enough after Drazer.
So it's Minigard and Ralston, I believe it is?
Yes.
I'm sorry, are you suggesting that I'm trying to start a fight, sir?
No, not at all. No.
I got to the boat.
I'm just saying, in case you think of, I don't know, throwing yourself into a ring with two overly outmatched men, I'd suggest against it.
I have no interest in engaging in any sort of activities like that.
Excellent.
My skill set comes more towards the words.
them, you will be a lot more safer, I'd say, if that's the case. And I'm guessing...
And he'll again look over at Marion silently at first, but will slowly...
As soon as his eyes meet hers, she's going to open her mouth and say, I want to make sure I get this name right, I'm sorry. Alston Sally! And just wants to see if there's just the slightest spark of recognition, anything.
What was it said?
I will type it because I know the voice is awful.
Or you can try saying it again.
Alston Sally.
Is there a check I can make to see if that rings a bell? Is it like a location on the map, or is it a person? Sorry.
It is a person.
Okay, then never mind.
Yeah.
Sally, you're looking for Sally.
You ever heard the name before? Sally?
Yes. Wasn't she the one that went against, wasn't she the one that, had, what was his name?
Krug?
No, yeah, Krug, and then she had the Kothar. Wasn't
Yeah,
that
I
what
don't
you
think-
told me she was involved with?
I think
Did she
she's
run away?
down in SaltMarsh.
Yeah, she ran.
He'll turn back towards Marion and Tia.
If you're looking for Sally, you're not gonna find her here.
Sally's a man. I think Sally...
She is?
Yes, he is.
This is the first time that I've heard about this.
So, I mean, I know...
You've just been calling him Sally. You never told me he was a dude.
I've never met the person, to be honest. I've just heard Drazer talking about him.
That's where the communication came from.
Yeah, if you want to know about Sally, you should probably talk to Drazer, the guy who ran out of the establishment a moment ago.
Right. But yes.
Is he gonna be okay? Thea points out to that person who ran out.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be fine.
People at the next table. The people at the next table are singing and kind of encouraging to pick it up. Saying, Allie is the girl that I spliced nearly.
I look over to Mary. Hey, I'll be a bit here. Just stay safe. I need to go, sir. Business calls.
It's okay. She can stay here. I'll make sure she has some food and water and drink.
So the almost 30-year-old doctor has just had about enough of people treating her like a child. She sets her doctor's bag on the table. She very, very publicly pulls out a bone saw, takes a seat on that chair that they had put her in a few minutes ago, and just starts, very casually running a cloth over the blade, making sure it's polished.
In my defense here, one punch threw you down to the ground.
Well, she's like Ichabod Crane with two X chromosomes.
The moment you sit down, you'll notice that Minagod intentionally grinds the crate at a little bit of distance between you before you start pulling out your bag. However, when you start pulling out the utensils and the doctor's tools, he'll give them a side glance as he knows what they are, but he does not seem to be reacting.
They're very obviously surgical tools. They're not specialized, but it's bone saws, scalpels.
He gives them a very long look as if he's seen them for a very varied amount of occasions, but does not seem to be intimidated by them, so to speak, but more acknowledging of what they are.
Has Minagard been involved with meatball surgery at all throughout his course of years? If you know what that is. Battlefield surgery, triage, that kind of thing.
From what you've seen and the very... Here's an interesting question. Would Marion be familiar with Actually, no, I'll keep that to an in-character thing. Never mind. But he'll look over at the surgical tools, and Minigod will just quietly speak out.
Are you by chance familiar with the Aurelios pits?
I do not believe she would. So she'll just kind of shake her head. Her attention mostly focused on her utensils, but it's clear that she is listening. Oh, I might be wrong here.
But you're obviously not the one I thought you were. I apologize for swinging at you.
You will notice that while you are close to him, however, there are multiple markings and scars of obvious fights and wounds over time. You will definitely notice that the horns on his head have been filed down, either self-done or by someone else by force. But they have been slowly growing back in, and you're not entirely sure how big they could be, but they do seem to be on the bigger side. From that, it seems like he's just a run-of-the-mill. Definitely seen a bit of adventuring, but nothing crazy.
Obviously armed.
Oh. Apart from the metal gauntlets, the only thing you would see is a large wooden sword on his back.
But it's wooden, correct? It's
Wooden.
Gotcha.
And you will notice there is an engraving on the handle. Or at least the hilt. Apart from that, there is no weapons on.
Is it the engraving like obvious? Is it like right there, or would you have to like
Do
squint?
you look? Are you like actively leaning back to look?
I think she would try and just give it a once over, and if it's not something you could just see with like, you know, kind of a cursory glance, she wouldn't kind of stare too hard at it now. When she's leering at people, she's mostly looking at faces, hands, that sort of thing.
You would notice it is a long wooden replica of a greatsword. The handle has been wrapped in a very ornate-looking leather. It looks more presentory than functional. The handle is also a very ornate wood, and on the one side, which is showing on the outside of the sword, you can see a golden metal placard with a name on it, which would state out the name Minigard.
And the outside is in like facing back,
outwards.
like
Yes.
she might have spied it when she was kind of just stalking
Behind him. Yeah.
Yeah.
At a first glance, that's all you would see.
I think that she's just gonna kind of sit there and mind her own business while she waits for her apparent new minder to finish up.
Ogalon, are you out with Drazer?
Yeah, I was out trying to see if I could find him.
Where are you, Drazer?
I just took off running, probably at least a block away.
You running further into town or toward the docks?
Probably
Just right on the docks.
to my empty land that I have that I was building a house on. Whichever direction
Okay.
that is.
Okay, so you're running further in town. You move faster than a normal person?
No.
Oh, but Algalon moves slower.
Yep.
Did you follow him out right after he left?
No, there was a little bit of conversation, so probably maybe 5-10 minutes later.
Roll.
After the first block, he's just kind of really very quietly, very slowly stroll along the rest of the way. That he knows that the magician's not coming after him.
Roll intelligence. Goblin.
11.
Well, you don't see him, and you don't know where he went.
Is there anybody around me?
I mean, the party is kind of spilled outside, at least in part. There are people on the other side of the alley, like at the entrance to the flop house.
Yeah, I'm gonna start asking around.
Did you say anything to anyone, Grazer?
No. I just said that the magic guy was trying to steal our souls and took off.
Well, I guess they say, yeah, he went toward the center of town.
All right, yeah, I'll start heading that way. See if I can track him down. Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, the center of town is pretty quiet at this time of night. There isn't really anyone around. I mean, there are city watch people who kind of like stroll through the square, but other than that, it's pretty abandoned.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can track him down, and I'm gonna give it probably an hour, and if I can't find him, I'll start heading back.
So you're just gonna...
I'm gonna ask people if they've seen Drazer. If they don't know who Drazer is, I'll say the giant blue man that's bald.
One of the city watch people says probably went home.
Oh, haven't been there. Which way is that?
He says it's outside of town, along Linden Lane to the west. He's probably not feeling well. You know he was fired today, right?
Oh, yes. I heard about that. I don't know why somebody would be ill from that, though.
People like to have work so that they can get money.
If you didn't
Plus
work, does that make you physically sick?
Well, yeah, because I would starve to death. And before that happened, the wife would probably nag me to death.
Very strange culture you have, yes. Thank you. And I'll start going toward the direction he said.
All right.
And yeah, I'll keep
You
going until I either run to him, the house, or an hour passes, whichever comes first.
All right. Well, I guess you... And you know that he's built a little shed on his new plot of land.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever actually been to his land. I know I've been to Cohen's.
Yeah, it's not that far away from there.
Okay.
So there's like one other farmstead between Cohen and Drazer. So,
Okay.
yeah, he wouldn't be too difficult to find.
Oh, yeah, then I'll head to his place.
All right. So what does he find you doing, Drazer?
Trying to make like a pot of tea or something, just kind of calm my nerves.
All right. See Drazer engaged in domestic duties.
Oh, Grazer, I'm glad I found you. Are you all right?
I'm fine. I can't be around those magic users anymore.
What about myself?
Oh, you're fine.
Oh, good. Can I have some tea?
Yes, you may.
Wonderful. If it makes you feel better, Minigard punched one of the women.
It makes me feel much better. Thank you.
I thought you might enjoy that. Okay, yeah, I'll have a cup of tea with you, and then afterwards, I think I'll head back in and let them know you are all right. You kind of stormed off there.
Yes, that'll be fine.
All right, I'm gonna have a cup of tea with him, and then after that, I'll head back to the tavern to find the rest of them.
Great. I'm going to take a short break. If you want to continue your conversation back at the tavern, or before or after Algalon gets back, you are free to do so. But I will be back in about 5 minutes.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Welcome to the game.
Oh yes, it is quite wonderful to have you.
When Thea eventually gets a break from the requests for music, she'll come to see everyone.
When Thea finally comes back to the table, Marion puts all of her tools away and closes her bag, and then takes out a pen and a sheet of paper, and just kind of sets it down in front of her.
You know, I suggest that would make conversations a lot easier.
The first thing she scrawls is, I can put this in chat, or I can just tell you what she's writing, but everything isn't in that same crisp, clean hand that was on that sign that she had up earlier. She writes incredibly well. It's very literate and clean. It's the polar opposite of everything that comes out of her mouth.
Thea makes a comment about it. Oh, that's pretty handwriting.
And she writes, I only have so much paper.
Remind me to find a shop for that then. I need to get some paperwork for myself anyway. So, I guess this is an awkward question to bring up here, but are you guys know where anyone can find some work around here?
Marion
It depends on
holds
the
up her
work.
hand.
Any trouble in the area?
Plenty of trouble. Very easy to find. Very easy to find. In regards to jobs, depends on what you're looking for and how much coin you're trying to make. But also, it depends on what you're trying to do.
Well, I mostly just try to deal with any type of... That's the politest way to... Any situations with the order of the city, I guess is the best way to put it.
Marion kind of turns away from Minigard and just starts furiously scribbling on that sheet of paper.
Does it look like she's writing on that piece
Yes,
of paper?
she is writing at an incredible pace.
Okay. Minigard will just glance over at the piece of paper, look extremely confused at what he's seeing, and then slowly turn to Ralston and just...
Do you know what she's writing?
It's in common, so if you want to really stare at it, you can, but she's being very paranoid about people looking at it right now.
I just kind of crook my neck and glance in her direction. I just shrug my shoulders. I don't know.
You don't know how to read?
Oh no, she just seems rather defensive about it. I'm
Oh.
sure. Judging by how she spoke earlier, this is possibly some new form of communication.
Okay. I might need you to read it for me.
Oh, you can't read common? Oh yeah, no problem.
I can read a bit. Just, well, not massive amounts.
Yeah, no worries, man. I can translate it for you.
Oh, that's the thing. As soon as she's done writing, she rolls it up and puts it into her coat.
Okay, never mind.
Never mind.
It's not going to be an issue.
Guess it's not being an issue at all. I thought she was going to talk to her through it. Guess we were wrong.
She's gonna turn and look at Ralston, and she's gonna smile, and it's a smile, but it's definitely a predatory smile. It's a I'm definitely fucking with you smile, and she says, "Social butterfly."
just kind of stare at you. Yes, of course. That's quite an interesting voice you have.
She immediately retorts, "Lack of one."
Well, yes, yeah. I guess that's a more of a fair assessment. Okay.
If no shit Sherlock could be expressed purely through fingers, she would be doing it right now.
Perfect.
Menagod is gonna just lean over to Ralston real quick and just whisper,
By the way, what's a butterfly?
It's more of a turn of a phrase. More means she's like a socialite.
Oh, so a butterfly is a term of expression?
No, it's a butterfly is a bug essentially. I mean, I would assume we've seen butterflies being out and about. In the SaltMarsh area, I would think we've seen a couple. So I think you would have seen them.
So she's a butterfly?
No, that's why I'm saying it's a phrase. Social butterfly is more of like a person who is very sociable.
Okay, I got you now. Got you. So
It was. She was being ironic. I think.
what's ironic?
never, let's not get
Marion
into.
just very obviously puts her head in her hands and makes it seem like someone being strangled.
Let's
just your session reminder of how little Menagard actually knows.
I mean,
yes. No. Fair enough.
Butterfly. He doesn't mean he knows what it is.
It is so. Okay. So she's not a butterfly.
No.
Butterfly is not only a figment of speech, but also a flying bug.
Yes, a flying insect. Correct.
Common is complicated.
Yeah, I mean it's. I imagine if you'd not grown up speaking it, it would be a hard thing to pick up.
Trust me, Elvish is a bit more complicated. They like their flowery language.
Well, I wasn't originally taught in Common. The first language was spoken in something else.
Don't get me wrong here. Learning a second language is always hard.
Yes, I guess so.
It's easiest when you're younger, though, but some people don't get the luxury of learning at a young age.
Marion is gonna
True.
take that paper she rolled up out of her coat, and she's gonna try and do it subtly, like from the inside. I want to know if I can pull it off without anyone else noticing.
Just character-wise, my passive perception is pretty high, so I probably would notice.
I'd be willing to roll for it. I mean, if I
Yeah,
get caught,
yeah.
I get caught.
Roll against 17 passive perception.
What roll would that be? Sleight of hand?
Your choice, I would guess. DM's not here. Probably sleight of hand sounds good.
I don't think I'm gonna make it, but I'm willing to try.
Bardic Inspiration.
I'll give it a try.
You do have Bardic Inspiration.
Oh, you
I
left.
do. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Scroll
normally it'd be sleight of hand.
Let me see if I remember how to get this sheet.
I'll say Agalon comes in around this time
Grazer?
without Tracer.
So advantage from a silvery barb, so a D6 added to that?
If it's a D6, that means it's 19.
No,
19
yeah,
on
roll a
the-
D6.
Oh, roll a D6, I'm sorry.
It's a 50-50 shot. 16, so barely fails.
If it meets it and you catch it, you see it, but it's real quick. She's very obviously taken something out of her jacket and like pulls it right under the table.
Okay. Hopefully keeping that in the back of my mind. Oh, no, I'm not going to say anything about it.
So, are you a butterfly?
And he'll just turn it to you.
Are you a butterfly also, or are you...
Butterfly is definitely a new one, but it's not an uncommon phrase for me. I tend to be that colorful. I've also been called a peacock too.
So you're a peacock?
Yeah.
You don't look like a peacock.
Oh, trust me, I'm not wearing my feathers yet.
Oh, you're one of those people that could change their face and their body, and you've met one of those.
Oh yes, that was like Solus.
Yes.
I would very much like to see that.
Mine's a bit slower, and I need a few hours to make it work, but I can definitely show it off.
She'll do it a lot faster, though. 8 hours? That's a long time.
Well, I need some quiet time in a room then. I could probably do it shorter.
I'll turn to Raul and Minigard. Drazer is fine. He is at his house.
Oh, he's just fine.
Yes.
I figured he was fine.
Good. That's good. Is he okay? Did he want company?
No, he is wanting to be alone at the moment. He says the spellcaster is stealing his soul.
Did he get captured up by a wizard's death hex?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, legends tells that if you kill a wizard, they curse you in death.
Are you going to curse us in death?
Well, you have to kill me first, wouldn't you?
So you're a wizard?
No, I'm not a wizard.
Oh, then the point is moot.
Did your friend kill a wizard recently?
Which one?
The one that ran away.
Probably, yes.
Oh, then I should pray for his soul then.
Can't kill a wizard.
Ralston and Algalon will immediately probably notice at this point the shaking has returned to Midgard. And the eyes have gone very, very small. The pupils have gone very, very small. And is visibly shaking and trying his best not to look in the direction of Marion.
Is Thea standing right next to Marion?
I guess close enough, yeah.
She's gonna reach behind her back and like tap her spine with 2 fingers, and she's gonna press that note she took right there and just hold it there until she takes it.
Thea nonchalantly just grabs it with her free hand.
I'm definitely gonna notice that too, unless you make another sleight of hand.
I will make another sleight of hand for that.
Nice.
Give me 1 second here.
I bonus action give her 6 bardic inspiration. Never mind.
Everyone
never
sees
mind.
that.
Yeah, no.
Everyone in the bar saw that.
I don't know. If I roll a 6, I might be able to make Minigard miss it.
Oh no! At this moment in time, Minigard is full, not paying attention to everyone. He is not good right now.
I think I might be rolling with an advantage.
You definitely see her hand it over the list, the note here.
No, you
but
just
Thea just gently puts it in behind her, below the table.
roll 20 just rolls everything in advantage automatically. So it's unless you are actually rolling advantage, it'd be the 2.
Unless you can actually toggle that by just going to the cog and just turning it around. If you don't like it, just rolling advantage all the time.
Okay.
You can also turn it off.
I haven't used Roll20 seriously in like 3 years, so I'm so out of it.
If you go to the cog, you'll see roll queries. If you just want it to switch it up here, just go to advantage toggle, and then you can just switch off if you want it to be toggled. You can also do it with whisper rolls too.
I'm going to send you what the actual message is, and this is scrawled directly below, just the few things she wrote before she just had inspiration for something.
So, Thea gives it a quick read, then looks over and gives a side eye to Marianne. You see a small nod before going back to her talk work. So, you guys must have some stories to tell, right?
Well, I'm gonna see that, and then, so why exactly are you two here? Did you want to ask us something, or?
Again, I'm just stalking around here. Look.
Okay.
I guess you could also say I'm a storyteller. Maybe not a storyteller, but I like gathering information, stories to share across the land.
I'm her manager.
Yes, most humans are gossips and liars.
Menegado will just slowly raise a quaking, shaking hand. The gauntlet just points over towards Ralston.
And he's mine.
It's true. I managed him in the past.
Well then, I'm certain you have stories to share, right? Adventures, tales. You seem like the type of group that would have that.
Yeah, a few. Did you say you were inquiring about work around here or something to that effect? A little earlier?
Well, technically my work involves a bit of storytelling.
Ah.
I usually like to investigate troubles because that's usually where you can find a good story.
That is perfect. We definitely need to investigate some trouble tonight. And you are more than welcome to accompany us.
Thea looks over to Mary.
She kind of shrugs her shoulders and gives her a thumbs up.
I guess we have some free time tonight then.
I will say that I don't know if it's 100%. I kind of lower my voice. Legal.
And
so there is.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
All right, I'll lean in and say, "Oh, are we speaking of the island?"
Yes, I can't get that. I have to go there tonight. Like I said before, I'm not going to force you guys to come with me, but there's something on that island.
Oh no, today was a sign of Palor that I will protect you. And all of you. Except you two. I don't know you two.
Does it have to be tonight, Ralston?
I mean, if my back's against the wall, no, it doesn't have to be tonight, but this thing, it's like, I mean, it's like a splinter in my mind. I can't stop not focusing on it.
It's probably right around like 2 o'clock in the morning at this point, so
as soon
next
as
night would be the next night.
Yeah, I mean, like tonight, like now, like as it's dark, essentially.
when Ralston says splinter, Marion goes digging around in her bags and then pulls out a pair of tweezers and kind of like clips it at him.
No. It was a phrase. There's not actually a splinter in my mind. I do appreciate the offer.
Puts it back in the bag, pulls out a thing of forceps and clips it at him instead.
Oh, everything's fine. I'm perfectly healthy at the moment.
Oh, good. Yes, I was worried.
Right. I wouldn't mind perhaps sleeping this off and not being cursed by
And he'll just look over at Marion.
wizards.
Oh, that's right. You and Drazer are both kind of spent, aren't you? Yeah, maybe we should. I mean, we can wait till tomorrow night. It's just
When
I have a feeling
when
this
they
thing's
look
gonna
at
keep
Marion
gnawing at
and
me.
say wizard, she's gonna kind of do that quizzical head tilt again and slap the bag hard enough to make all the tools inside jingle and go, Doctor!
Eyes just simply bolt away again, looking towards the bar away from Marion.
Don't curse me, wizard, damn it. I didn't punch you hard enough to do that yet. It was all by accident. Don't curse me, please. I don't want to deal with any more magic.
You're all making fun of the disabled person.
Welcome to the party.
I don't think Menegard heard the point where I said that death tax requires the wizard to die for it to work.
No, he doesn't magic at all. That's why he's fucking terrified.
In the name, the death tax.
I literally just killed the wizard like 2 hours earlier.
Yeah.
Midgard did literally see Drazer just punch a dude to death. So he is
Yeah,
quite
pretty
well
much.
aware of what strength can do.
Well, no, that means that Drazer would be cursed.
Right, but he also just saw this poor woman just get crumpled by a simple punch.
I
Well,
apologize.
of course, wizards are nerds you can easily punch.
I apologize,
Yes, the finest porcelain bones.
ladies, but may I speak with my companion in private for a moment?
Of course.
Ralston.
Yes, Algalon.
And we'll go off to the side somewhere where no one can hear really.
Argalon, Ralston, please don't leave me alone with these two.
Uh,
No, don't leave me, please. No, don't please leave me
I
alone.
doubt I'm going to be able to, but Marion wants to overhear, even if I have to roll for it. I probably won't. My skills are shit, but she's a nosy fuck.
Oh, no worries, Midgard. You can join us.
He will slowly edge his way, making very large distance to press himself against the wall just to avoid the very tall woman.
If he stares at Thea just gives a very quaint little smile and a tiny wave.
He will give a slight wave of the gauntlet, but immediately makes haste when he's out from outside the corner.
Rao,
Know what kind of roll that would be to eavesdrop on us either?
Perception maybe? Or insight?
I have no idea.
Probably perception.
Perception.
Okay. Roll perception. If I can find it. There she is.
Oh,
nice.
that runs
Wow.
the gambit, huh?
That's a 1.
Yep.
So, no,
Um,
she can't hear over the
Each
fucking
holds
sailors.
in.
Rao, two things. One, keep an eye on the one that looks dead. They were very curious about me the first time that I met them. And second, we're bringing them along.
Bringing them along? Why are you serious?
Well, I mean, I don't know, guys. Like, whatever's on this island is something. I would assume is pretty powerful. I just figured the more the merrier.
Oh,
What happens if you kill the witch? What happens then? You'll get cursed forever. You'll end up like Drazer.
I don't know about all that.
I know how to handle that. Do not
Mhm.
worry. Yes,
Oh, that doesn't make her any less terrifying.
understandable. She is very frightening.
It's quite odd. No, I've already got an eye on her.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll definitely watch out for you here.
Okay.
Say she seems overly interested in you, particularly.
The first time I saw them come in, she would not stop staring at me. I'm used to this, as usually I'm around humans. So to be of my height is usually very strange, but this was different.
Okay.
Anyway, if they do follow along, that does entail the second part of our group agreement that we usually don't tell people. Has to do with a phase of the moon.
Oh yeah, I mean, I figured. I don't know if they're. I just figured we'd use their help on the island. I don't know if they're going to be permanently with us, so to speak, yet. I mean,
Well, might I also mention, we don't exactly have the same deal anymore due to the fact they kind of make the deal with him. Didn't they? So we're not really in the same boat anymore when it comes to that.
I believe half of the deal is still an arrangement. However, Rao, to your thoughts, they would be associated with us.
yeah, I just don't know about the long term. I don't think we need to lay that on them quite yet. To be
Okay.
perfectly honest.
No, that is fine. As I've said when I met you, I don't lie, so I want to know what I can and cannot say.
Oh yeah, let's nothing involving any of that quite yet.
Okay, good.
Everything. Absolutely everything. down to the single detail.
I mean, you could talk about how
I can do that.
We're thinking about checking out the Swagan stronghold.
Yes.
That's fine. I mean, that's good for a conversation. I think I don't see any problem with that.
Oh, okay.
Wait, Algalon.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm not good at that sarcasm stuff that you can do. It's a little harder with this voice. But, no, I was not saying that you should tell them every detail. That would be a horrible idea.
Oh, I was being sarcastic. I did not know.
Yes, he does.
I'm sorry.
Things are new to him.
I'll try not to in the future, Minigard.
He'll look even more dejected at the fact that he missed your sarcasm while trying to do his own. And we'll just slowly look over back towards the pair and immediately return the gaze to the group, seeing the crow-like eyes of the bird wizard.
She has been staring at you this entire
Oh
time.
yeah, for sure.
Do you see what I mean? She has not
She's
stopped staring at me.
Yes. No, I see it.
She's placing a curse on me right now, guys. I can't do this.
No, Minigard.
This is getting ridiculous.
Minigard?
It's just, you see,
Minnow?
And he'll just smash a table to the side and start making his way out the table.
Holy shit. There's another one.
Hey, Midgard, where are you going?
Just full on dash, like charging out. Very likely the side of his horn will clip the side of the doorway, sending a chunk of wood to the street, and he'll just charge back to the farm. Just screaming out into the distance.
Magic people all around me, they're gonna curse my hell.
Who's messing with the champ?
Ral, is it strange that our two largest men was frightened by this small woman?
Yeah, that's kind of what was going through my mind as well.
Okay, it was not just me.
No, it was not.
Right, well, I mean, I guess, so we're on for tomorrow night, I guess, because I don't think either Minigard or Dre's there's any condition to go out there tonight. I want to ask them to do that when they're spent, as they are.
Should we meet back here or more on the edge of town?
Let's, turn to the two women over there and see if, they want to do it tomorrow night, I guess.
Oh, yes. They should be included in this conversation. Shall we?
Yep, let's scroll back over.
Alright, sorry about that. We just had to talk about something. I apologize for my friend's reaction.
Apparently, it's been very common around here.
If you say so. Yes, if you work, I think, was on the table. Well, the parts of the table now.
I fucked that table up on the way out.
Thea takes a look at that table.
You know, if that punch reduced that table to splinters, maybe you give Marion a break for crumpling like a sack.
People are getting up and saying toward you and saying, well, at least to those of you that they know, looks like it's time to toss some people off the dock.
What? Why?
Oh, I
Giving
don't.
trouble to the champ.
Oh, I don't think that's necessary. Minogard has just had a long day. He needed to get some rest. He thought he saw a butterfly.
Wants to look at the crowd and kind of touch her breast and just kind of put on a feigned pitying look, or as best as she can with her horrifically cheekbony face, and go, "Bad breakup."
Thea cannot help
boy.
but chuckle. Thea cannot help but chuckle at this.
You say, you watch yourself around here.
I believe we will keep our eyes on them. But I thank you.
Will do.
Alright, so are you heading back to the farm?
Minigard?
Is that directed towards me?
Among others, yes.
Yes, Minigard would be back at the farm.
Alright. And Algalon also?
Marion's gonna break out a fresh sheet of paper just for the sake of ease of conversation. She's gonna jot down that she has gotten accommodations for her and her new partner outside or on their own, and that they would be amenable to meeting at a predetermined location at a predetermined time to further discuss business negotiations.
Sure, that's great. Yeah, tomorrow morning, or shoot.
Afternoon,
morning.
possibly.
Yeah, tomorrow afternoon. What is it, north side of town?
Around the bridge.
Sure, yeah. Meet at the bridge, north side of town, around noon tomorrow. That should be fine.
So, Algalon, Ralston, Minigard are heading back to the farm.
After that, yeah, after that conversation.
And
By the time they get back, Minigard is already passed out in the farm shed, snoring heavily.
fair enough. And Marion and Thea are staying at the flop house.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright. So yeah, it's pretty loud here until the wee hours.
If I remember correctly, Marion only paid for one bed, so she's basically just going to get on the floor next to the bed and just kind of lay down there and let Thea use the bed.
Okay.
Thank you. But you can have it next time then.
Just another
So
listless thumbs up.
Before Thea goes to bed here, you see her pulling out some stuff from her bag. Some common stuff, some musical instruments, water skin, manacles, rope, a lot of rope, and then some costumes. You see her then starting to work on something into the wee hours.
Just while they're whittling away time, Marion's gonna speak up. Don't trust them.
Oh, trust me, I don't. I always have a backup plan in case people try to backstab.
Kind of very, I'm not sure what the word is. She looks at her and makes an emphasis. Don't trust you either.
Be very foolish to trust me if we only just met.
If it comes to it, us over them. And then she goes quiet.
Make sure I understood it clearly. She said, trust us over them.
If it comes to us, if it comes to it, us over them.
She nods. Of course. One must always look out for themselves.
Alright, so does anyone do anything between late at night and the following afternoon when you were supposed to meet by the bridge?
I think Marion would actually tell Thea her name by now.
Yeah. Huh, not as close.
I cast
Very
Very go to sleep too. This is on the side.
Alright, so does everyone arrive at the meeting on the bridge the following day?
Drazer and Minigard?
Someone get Drazer because he probably wouldn't know about it.
Yeah, when we woke up in the morning, I was tending to head over to your place and seeing if you're still up for going out to the island.
You guys see Marion coming in here, but then you see someone not familiar walking up with her. I'm putting on a costume today. And this is what the woman traveling with her looks like, roughly.
As Marion walks up, Drazer's gonna hide behind Algalon.
You know, to be fair, it looks like they shot some of their storage now.
Roll stealth.
Nice.
Disadvantage.
I was about to say, is that disadvantage?
15.
That ain't bad.
Does not see him or does not give a damn.
beats both their passive perceptions.
Yeah. You're trying to crouch down. You're basically like going along on all fours, but they can still see you.
I mean, he's 8 foot tall, hiding behind someone who's not 8 foot tall.
A lot of that going around.
Menagard will arrive maybe 5 to 10 minutes late. Very slowly trudging along.
I think the rendezvous point was set as afternoon, so it's kind of difficult to tell when
Yeah.
it's 5 to 10 minutes late.
But he will notice Marion at first, notice the newer person, a lot more structured armor now. The robe is no longer there, it's just the armor and the padding. Apart from that, he seems to be all business at the moment. Silently walks up and will join the group but not say a word.
Drezel waves to you when he sees you, as he's on all fours.
Razor, is this something behind Avalon that you're trying to find, or?
I'm hiding from the witch.
Marion's just staring forward, idly nibbling on something.
Just looks over towards Marion, looks down towards Drazer.
I think you're a little bit too big to hide behind Avalon. It would have made more sense to hide behind Ralston, to be perfectly honest.
Not really.
Yeah, and even then.
Oh, it does not bother me at all.
Can I hear them obviously talking to Tracer?
Agalon's magic will protect me from the witch.
There you go. Yeah, you
I
can
wouldn't
absolutely
trust magic against a person who can use magic. So,
Hearing Drazer say that, I'll pull out my star map and draw a constellation for him. There you go. This is just like the constellations I drew before.
And I told him, I wrote you something. I wrote you a note. Did you get it?
Yes, I did. I don't know what to say, Drazer. I've never been given a note like that.
gave him a note.
Yes. Would you like to read it?
If I can.
I gotta go find it.
Just out of my curiosity, is it the poem?
Oh, it's
that
the
he wrote?
poem. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you have
I knew
to.
it was.
He'll open up the note, just frown at first, just like at least he's not entirely sure what it says. He's like,
I know some of these words on here. Oh.
Yes, I believe that was my reaction as well when I read it. I did rewrite a little bit because it was fairly messy.
I was about to say this is not Drazer's handwriting.
No, that is mine. Some of
Yes,
it.
yours is a lot more readable.
Yes.
It's not Drazer's handwriting, but you recognize it very much as Drazer's words.
Yes.
We interrupted something.
I don't know. Would you like to read as well?
Something tells me from your reactions that I do not wish to enjoy the.
Oh wait, you are a storyteller and a singer. I believe this is a poem. Are you sure
Yes,
you
I'm
would
sure
like to read it?
Yes, I'm sure she would love to read it.
and
Marion
Minnicon is gonna
puts out her hand
start
expectantly.
walking.
Let me dictate it for you.
God.
I hand it to Marion after giving one little side eye of it.
There you go.
Yeah, give me a second here. There once was a lady from SaltMarsh who the need had come quite harsh. She went up the stairs and breathed. Sorry. And breathed glare. Her back, he certainly did make arch.
Right. Oh, that's what that said.
Yes.
She rolls her eyes and hands it back. Grammatically a mess.
I think it's what they call a poem.
Poetry is the lowest form of art.
Is that true, Drazer?
As you say that, Jersey will draw a picture. Very badly.
Of what? Shut
Showing the
her.
poem.
Oh gosh.
An artistic rendition of the poem.
Can she see the picture?
Yeah, he'll draw that right out there in the with the stick in
I
the
thought it was
ground.
gonna be like a stick in the dirt. Yeah, exactly. That's
okay.
Drazer.
In the dirt.
Yeah.
He's gonna take one look at it and go, anatomically improbable.
Oh.
He,
But it was
He'll
gonna be a-
look over at Drazer, then immediately look down at his own pants and just question for a moment.
Thought it was going to be a giant cucumber patch.
Oh boy.
I didn't know it was eggplant season.
I'm sorry to interrupt this lovely conversation, but we have a job to work on.
I guess we do.
Oh yeah, we just kind of need to wait for it to get a little darker.
Yes, the job is not quite yet. It was more a meeting to make sure you were okay with the job and willing to come along.
Yes.
Reach up and start kind of like rubbing her throat because she usually doesn't speak this much.
Usually,
Benegard will immediately pull out his flask, stop for a moment, realize who he's pulling it out for, visibly swallows, and just tentatively reaches over a small flask that he's filled up with alcohol.
It might soothe the throat.
She looks at him, looks at the flask, looks at him, looks at the flask.
Don't worry, it's not poisonous. If I wanted to kill you, I would have punched you. But I promise someone I won't kill anymore, so that's kind of it.
She just narrows her eyes and shakes her head.
you worried about death hex?
But it's just a drink. I was
No.
trying to be nice so she doesn't curse me.
And he'll take a swig.
Mr. Menegard, I want to reiterate that the death hex requires you to kill someone for it to trigger.
You don't need to be dead to kill.
Well, specifically the death hex.
That doesn't change the fact that she has magic on her fingers and can turn me into anything. Trust me, I already know that these people could change. I don't understand magic. It's weird. It's scary. I kind of want it. It's kind of cool, but it's terrifying.
I think at this point, Marion is just going to visibly drop behind Thea and just starts kind of like hacking, like coughing really loudly.
He'll hand out the flask and
She sounds like she really needs that.
I'll take out my water skin and use shape water to pull the water from the water skin and form it in the shape of a cup. If you would like some water, I have some fresh water for you.
She very reluctantly takes the water.
It's just a floating cup of water that's not in a cup. So
She
I will
takes
then use the shape water
Wow,
to
water.
put it towards your mouth.
I must say, you guys do seem to use magic quite liberally out here.
Oh, magic people. Can't do damn thing normally. Damn it.
Oh,
just
this
takes another swig.
this was to show that it was indeed water and not hidden behind some disguise.
I just more mean the act of practicing it outside. Last I checked, magic wasn't quite the most accepted thing in society.
Algalon will look around. This is new to me. No one has said anything.
Yet. I have no trouble with that, I mind you. I just curious. So, the job. What is this requiring of us?
Is it?
Sorry, I don't know. Did you, Marion, what'd you say?
She was just saying, what in the fuck is it? As pertaining to the job.
Yeah.
I think Ral here would be best to explain.
Yeah, so I've had some odd dreams. Well, I'll call them nightmares lately about an area at the mouth of the river, just kind of north of SaltMarsh. There's some sort of creature there that's I believe somehow projecting into my dreams, and it's just as time goes on, it's kind of wearing on me. So we are going to go check that spot out and see what exactly the hell is going on there. The issue is it's on private property, which is why we're going at night. This is not our private property. You catch my drift?
I catch your drift. Why would it be targeting you?
Honestly, I have no idea. I'm not new to this area, but I definitely didn't grow up here. I don't really have any enemies here. I don't know. There's all the more reason why I need to go find out. When it gets dark, we will be heading out there, probably on a boat. We may or may not have to borrow.
Uh-huh.
Sure, whatever's there is going to make quite the story.
Might I ask, whose private property are we going to be trespassing on?
I heard the name. I don't really recall. I kind of looked at Alglon, Minigar, and Drazer. Do you guys remember that the fisherman told us?
Yes, that would be Mr. Sharp.
Yes, there we go.
How much pull does he have in the city?
I mean, he's a landowner, so probably a little bit.
He's one of the council members.
Yeah, that's
That's the type of information that you really want to tell people first.
It is. Kind of hazy in my memory. Yeah, he does have some pull. And,
although he is relatively new at the council.
How long had he been on the council?
Couple of weeks.
She's gonna look at Thea. I'm going.
All right.
Spirit.
All right. I guess I have to go along too. Just a quick question: who was the previous council member?
Sally, right?
Yeah, Turo.
Yeah.
Sally.
Was Sally killed, or what? And you said they ran away.
More like run out of town. Drazer, I kind of like Drazer. Drazer, Sally was kind of before I got here. Is there anything you can tell her about Sally?
We had the huge fight, and then we left town for some reason. And then they came back, and they were gone. So they took off. Chances are he might still be on the boat, the Sea Dog, that took off, or he could be somewhere else. Don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, he left town a while ago. I know the city's hunted him down, but can never find him.
Yes, from what I heard, Krug had ran Mr. Alston Sally's crew out of town and out of the council.
All right.
I believe you said you were looking for a Sally.
Sally, I know of.
To say, I think that's the only one that we know. And they've been gone for a while.
Yes, at least a few months.
Oh, are you coming with us, or is this a bit too much for you?
I said I'm coming.
Oh, okay. I thought you said you were going.
Yes, I heard they were going as well.
Yes. Well, yeah. Are we waiting here? Do we have anything to do before we start heading out?
Maybe able to go back down to those docks and see about renting a boat, like overnight. Tell them we're gonna do some night fishing or something.
I am needing supplies for my herbalism kit. However, I do not have any
Okay.
money.
Well, if you ask a certain doctor very nicely, she may spare. It's very, very obvious she has medical equipment, which include, generalist of a herbalist kit on her person. It's like hanging from her coat, her belt.
So
We
if
have
somebody wanted to go to
something-
town with me.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean we have time. What'd you need?
What
What kind of supplies?
I am out of vials. I use those for the potions, and possibly a few more things, but definitely the vials.
Okay. We have time.
I have some gold as well. I made some money last night, so
Only if you are willing to spare it. I would not ask you for money.
if I've been wanting to try and find some of those pools I found in the general store the first time. I wonder if they still have them.
We can go and look, yes.
And if you guys don't mind, I'll go coordinate with the boat dealers and see if I can get us a deal.
Yes.
Sure.
Marian's
Don't
going to go ahead and go with Thea, and she's going to pass her a note while she does.
don't tell them why you need the boat.
Just use your feminine charm. I think that's what it is. Is it charm?
I think it is wit.
Right. Your feminine wits.
Wiles. Feminine wiles.
Thank you. You still sound like you need a drink.
I really do.
Are you sure you're not wanting?
And he'll bring out the flask again.
Yeah, it's not too strong. It's just the plain old stuff.
We're over by the bridge. I'll shape water and start pulling some water out of the river. If you need some more water.
I'm
Are attracting a bit of attention.
to the job.
Now let's get this stuff done. We're kind of sticking out over here.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And then I'll drop it.
You don't really want to stand out in SaltMarsh.
You've also been just hanging out there for quite a while.
Okay, so you
We're
guys
definitely keeping an eye on you.
we'll head do some shopping. And we'll meet you guys at the docks here in a little bit.
All right.
Sounds like a plan.
Thea looks at the note that Marion gave her, closes it, nods to Marion.
There's probably a very a PS on the bottom of that note. The boat, in regards to the boat, this is your area of expertise. Do your magic.
Yeah.
And magic's in quotation marks.
Yep, I got it. Yeah.
All right. So those of you who go shopping, what do you get?
I need to resupply my herbalism kits. I do know the vials are gone. I used all of those to make the potions. I don't think anything else was used since all the other supplies was pulled from the forest.
Would we use the vials? Or are they a one-use situation?
Oh, well, this is just in case I need to... I could either A, make more, or 2, find something else to examine.
All right. So you can purchase vials for 1 gold each.
Yes, I would need 4, I believe, to resupply fully.
Okay.
If you don't mind, Minigard or Raul, whoever's with me.
You guys got the money. No, I lost a hefty sum last night.
Right. Yes, and I gave my money away.
Yes, you did.
I will go ahead and help you out along with this. How much are you needing total exactly?
I believe it'll be 4 pounds, as they
4?
call it.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and reach into the bag, which is quite easily very small in his hands, and we'll just slowly start pulling out 5 gold pieces, places them in his hand.
That should be 5. Anything else you need?
Are you giving it to me or the
I'm giving it to Al.
merchant? The merchant? Okay. 5 gold. All right. No, I do not. I don't believe that. That should be it. So, yeah, I'll go buy 4 vials, give 4 gold.
Okay.
Keep the one.
And Menegard will be looking for the Tinker's tools that he found last time.
All right.
Is there any left, or was the one sold already?
You can purchase a set of Tinker's tools. $50 gold.
Oh, excellent.
And he'll, again, 1,
2, 3, 4, 5.
Once he gets to 9, he'll just like look over at Algalon.
I'm just looking up, smiling.
It helpfully suggests that they will help you count your money.
Thank you.
And he'll just keep counting, letting them count up to 50. And he'll push it forwards.
Thank you.
You don't give them your purse? Count the money out with?
No.
Okay. So
They said they'd help me count, not look at all my gold. Yeah, I would push the 50 to them, and I would take the tools. I would smile. Thank you. Algalon, do you need anything else before we go?
Not unless you have a gilded flower that is worth about 300 gold.
Oh yeah, you want that bad, don't you?
He'll look down at the
Your
tool,
smith is dead.
look over it.
I don't have that kind of money.
No worries, neither do I. I have all of that I need for the moment.
Before we go, though, I would like to grab another length of rope. If I can, quick, DM.
all
So,
right.
whatever, like the 50 foot. Yeah, just a standard rope.
Hempen or silk?
Cheap, the hempen. Just like regular standard rope. Just so I have extra for
Okay.
rope tricks when I want to cast it and cut like a length off or whatever.
That would be 1 pound. Alright, so you have completed your purchases. Now,
I'm sorry, real quick,
The,
as we're leaving, I do want to tell Minigard one thing.
As we're walking out, you can see Menegard is using the Tinker's tools, like already starting to make adjustments to the gauntlets, tightening them, like loosening some parts, and he'll look over and just.
Yes?
I have made potions of healing, 4 of them. I have told Ralston, but do not tell the others, in case maybe I am not conscious.
Okay. What would you like me to do with that?
If they are needed, use them in case of emergencies.
I have to feed you them, I'm guessing.
Possibly, yes.
Okay.
All right.
He'll just like go back to his concentration, like fiddling with the gauntlets slightly, again adjusting, and it's quite clear he's used these tools.
All right. So, Thea, you're trying to rent a boat?
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can get a somewhat good deal on a nighttime fishing excursion.
Say, nighttime fishing excursion. Want a tour around the harbor?
No. I got a crew to help me out with all that here.
Oh, I should have
What do you
done
need?
enhanced ability on him.
I just need a boat.
I'm not used to having a face in the group anymore.
Just need to rent it for one night.
Night.
Yes.
Are you fishing at night?
Can Marion kind of saddle up and whisper into Thea's ear?
if she
Can.
wants to.
Okay. Not fishing trip. Too suspicious. Midnight rendezvous. Privacy.
Okay, sorry. My friend here, she's got a bit of a date going on later tonight, and she's a bit embarrassed about it.
You know, Marion's going to do her best to try and look like the most bookwormish bookworm that ever bookwormed, and she's going to actually get out her spell book and kind of fiddle with it to make the picture a bit more whole.
Can't you see, shy little dear? Would you be ever just so kind just to help blossom the romance in the night sky?
Well,
Pout out and wiggle all pathetic like.
where's this tryst taking place?
Oh, underneath the brilliant stars of night, somewhere out on the beautiful starlit ocean water.
Full deception.
All right.
Can I give her advantage by helping with her con, basically?
How are you helping aside from looking?
I'm being the reason that we're switching it. I'm looking there, looking, demure and everything, making it seem like, oh, this is actually plausible.
All right.
Many people are
I guess she didn't need it.
plus 9 to deception.
I'll roll it again. Just see.
Expertise, I'm guessing.
Still pretty good.
Yeah, Thea is going all out here, proclaiming the wonder of beautiful love, helping facilitate the great beauty that needs to be done here. A young maiden, first to never find true love, but now can you help a sister find it, please? Look it in your heart, good sir.
Well, yeah, I'm not a heartless man, but, a boat is a boat. Do you have collateral?
Thea reaches into her case here and pulls out a bagpipes. I got this. Fairly expensive, actually. Hard to find most places, honestly, too.
Kind of checks it out, handles mouthpiece and a couple of the bags, and he says, I'll blow in it. See if it makes noise.
She takes it and begins to start playing it.
Okay. Well, I
Do
guess
the
it's
March of Canberith.
so. Let's do 2 pounds. If the boat doesn't come back, you get to keep that.
All right. I'll put down I'll put in the 2 gold and the bagpipes as collateral.
All right.
I was actually surprised to find out that bagpipes are like 35 gold.
Yeah, they ain't cheap. I realized that too when I picked those my starting as for
Oh, sorry, they're 30 gold. They're 30 gold. Sorry, still, they're not. Yeah, you're right though. They're not cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot more than I thought they would be.
Specialized item. Says, all right. So, That's the boat right there.
Out of character, is the boat big enough to carry the amount of people we're planning on doing?
Especially since half of us are enormous.
It's a dinghy. It would be difficult. I mean, 4 normal people could probably fit in it. 6 of you, especially with the 2 big people, that would be...
Does it offset if
Razor doesn't count.
2 other people weigh practically nothing? Because we have a halfling and a person with no meat on their bones.
Yeah, if it comes to worse here, 2 of the people can wild shape into small creatures.
Yeah, one of our biggest people can wild shape. Razor can.
Well,
Yeah.
they probably don't know that.
No,
That's
no,
why I'm
you wouldn't
saying
know
out
that.
of character. I started this entire sentence with out of character.
Yeah.
You think it would be difficult.
Yeah. With knowledge, Thea just says, this is going to be a difficult trip, but they did not specify what type of boat I should get. Thank you, great sir, for your wondrous inclusion into the progression of love tonight. I will make sure to sing your praises into the night.
Says, all right, so at sunup,
Sunup. Definitely will be back by sunup.
yeah, the tub
The
is
tub.
right there. Yeah, that's its name, the tub.
Lovely name. Come, Marion. Come, dear. Let's get you dolled up all for your trip tonight. Come on.
She's gonna follow after.
Once we're clear out of sight here, she sighs.
Marion's, yeah, once they're out of earshot, because she doesn't want to actually speak and ruin the illusion. She's gonna hold out a gold coin to her and say, "Nice work."
No problem. It was a good setup. It was a good setup to at least try and make it seem a little bit more in it, a little bit more cover. Good job on the acting.
Everybody fucks.
Yeah, that's the word. That's definitely the words.
Sometimes with horrible poetry.
Yeah. Alright, come on. Let's go find them. Where were we meeting?
Fuck him, I know.
Is that at the docks?
Well, I guess we're waiting here.
I guess we're waiting for the rest of the crew to catch up.
Yep. All right. So, are you actually getting dressed up?
No, no, I'm not. She's wearing exactly what she was wearing before.
Well, that's probably good. They should love you for who you are.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
Thea, though, is definitely shaping back up into her, getting back into her more esoteric, more night working outfit.
Just the best horrible, raspy, phlegmy pillow talk you've ever had.
Mm-mm.
The correct response.
So I make sure we're in a place where we can keep an eye out for everybody while waiting for them.
Keep an eye out for whom?
The
The
rest of
group.
I mean, as they reassemble back?
They didn't. I don't think we discussed where we're going to meet back up. Did we?
We'd meet at the docks and we were done shopping.
So
I
we're
said
waiting.
that.
For them, so we're just waiting for them to show up at the docks.
I just figured we'd linger around the docks and just nibble on something while we wait.
Yeah.
All right.
Out of sight from the guy that we just told we're going to go doll up someone.
I mean, we can say we dolled it up. It's just you can put a lot of makeup on Mary and she's still going to look like a corpse.
Yeah.
Actually, I just had an idea. Marion's going to look at Thea and go, lipstick.
She looks her over. Yeah, I got some. favorite color?
She looks at basically the all black she's wearing and go, yes.
Just want to make sure. You never know with people.
Yeah, I
Pulls
did.
out-
Seem
she
kind of
pulls out-
redundant.
She pulls out a set of black lipstick.
She looks at the tube. That's not orange.
She goes back and pulls out her orange lipstick.
That's not
Black is the new
black.
orange.
She
She
gives
is-
her look that she's obviously fucking with her.
Theo gently gives you her makeup bag.
She just takes out the black lipstick and she opens up her her medical bag and pulls out the bone saw and tries to use her reflection in the saw to put it on. But it's very clear very quickly. This is not something she's used to doing.
Thea, being very polite, will let her attempt it first and see if she asks for help. If she doesn't, well, that's on her.
She doesn't ask for help, but you know how a child does something and they don't have to ask for help for you to know that they need help?
Thea will gently ask, do you want me to put it on for you? I have more experience with it.
She kind of swallows her pride and gives like a barely perceptible nod.
Alright, here you go. Thea is very gentle about it, but also does not do any unnecessary touching as long as they need it, and gently puts the lipstick on you.
No scalpels are pulled out, so she's apparently doing something right.
Yeah. And there. Press your lips together. Let's see how it works.
It looks like you put black lipstick on a very, very pale Ichabod Crane-looking motherfucker.
Well, okay, there. You look far better presentable now.
I thought you were a better liar.
It's only lying if I don't believe it.
She laughs at that, or, the choking sound that is her laughter.
So, when do the rest of you assemble by the bridge?
When? Like, I guess as
Dark?
soon as we're done shopping, right?
Yeah. So, after dark or before?
Oh,
I can't imagine it takes that long to get, some vials.
yeah. We'd probably. I mean, if we met originally in the afternoon, we'd probably be there before dark.
Yeah, more
Had
than
a
likely.
pretty good start, and then you were hanging out at the bridge for a while. And plus, it does get dark rather.
You could say
Really?
like early dusk, since we're supposed to be going out at night anyway, just as the sun's falling down.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's do that. Then it'll probably be getting dark by the time we meet back up.
Okay. So, yeah, as dusk falls, most of the sellers of knuckles and lambs and mussels begin to pack up their stalls and head in. Boat owner, well, the boat owner just showed you where the boat is. It's not like it has keys or anything.
Yeah. When we meet up with the gang here, I inform them. So, I got the boat, got some collateral put down. We need to return it by morning. Am I clear on this?
Yeah.
I'll look over at like a bigger ship and just like,
So you've got this one. How the heck did you get this?
What? Sorry?
What, the big ship? You got us the big one, right?
Getting a big ship's kind of hard. And
Also conspicuous.
yeah, that. I got us a boat, though, and I show them the mighty tub.
Are you all
It is-
out of your feminine wilds then?
My feminine wiles, I must remind you, are at the top of their pier. But, tell me, what's more inconspicuous? A big boat like that, and points over to some like a galley or something, or this little guy?
There.
Also, it was extremely short notice, and I got this on the cheap.
To be fair, that larger ship would be very inconspicuous in a navy.
Okay. Do you want to try and get that ship?
No, I do not need it. Thank you, though.
Good.
Marion's just gonna look at Algalon and go, "Would you like to walk?"
I mean, I could if needed. I would prefer to swim, of course, in the water, not walk, but if that is what is required, I can do that.
Just a reminder, I have 37 gold in collateral on this whole job here, so just making sure.
36. Marion already gave you her half.
36, yes.
There you go.
Looking out.
Okay, yeah, well, I mean, we'll do our best to get her back. I'm sure we'll get it back in one piece. I don't know what could possibly go wrong.
Don't
And the
say
guy just
that.
looks at Drazer.
Drake just kind of looks her off sideways. Do.
I don't know. What happened last time your crew went out at sea?
They rode
Well,
right
Anyway,
back.
the old crew went through all those poor sons of a bitch. Anyway, congratulations on entering the new crew.
The last time we crossed the river, they rode on my back.
You'd have a very good idea before that. But I don't think it would be the best of times to try an experiment right now.
All right, but let's just get there before people start wondering. We gotta do this quickly then.
Yes.
How far out is this island?
From the bridge, probably about a quarter mile.
We best make haste. Make some room, people. It's gonna be a tight squeeze.
Marion's gonna raise her hand. Can any of you actually pilot a boat?
Right, so
Not a big one.
who is in the boat?
Yeah, is
We bought it, so we're definitely in the boat.
Just like eyeballing it, how many does it look like it can fit comfortably? DM, like how many normal sized people?
It can fit 4 normal-sized people.
Okay.
And, you know, it's got like an oar on each side. The idea being that either kind of a big guy handles the oars or, you know, 2 people on each side.
Would you say that we could get 3 normal people and 1 big person across? Or would it be 2 normal people and 1 big person?
One big person bringing that boat down on one side.
No, in the middle, with the oars.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, yeah, Drazer probably fill up pretty much the whole boat just by himself.
How long is the boat?
The boat is probably like 9-10 feet long. Not much bigger than Drazer.
If we can do what we did last time, and I can fashion an ice boat to be pulled behind, where myself and possibly 1 or 2 other people, or myself
Yeah.
and Minigard could go.
I was thinking you tow the boat, and Drazer can wild shape again.
Yes.
Yeah.
However, if it is as dangerous as you say it is, I would prefer not to use up that power.
Oh, got ya. Okay. All right.
Whereas creating an ice boat is not that difficult.
Is there
I-
anyone
I'd
at
like to-
docks? Like, is there anyone overseeing this? Is this like a boat rental place, or is there just boats in the water and no one's looking over them?
There were a bunch of fishermen and fishmongers there earlier. There are docks and posts in the water to which boats are tied.
Is there another dinghy tied up within sight?
Yeah.
I have an idea, and this is OOC because I don't want to do it in the Marion voice; it'll kill my throat. Can we just untie one of the dinghies from the docks, furtively, and then I can use Mage Hand to just give it a little shove and let it kind of drift out, and then we can board it in the water with the other people. So we don't have to waste spells.
You're just gonna take an extra boat?
Well, basically, yeah. We just like we'd cut the rope or whatever so it's not tied to the docks, and we just kind of give it a little shove and let it kind of drift out, and then if nobody's running to grab it, we can just use that.
We could just take two and then plead ignorance later and say we thought we rented two.
That's probably smarter.
We'll cut them all loose so that they can't chase us afterwards.
Yeah, there's not like a lot of people there. I doubt it's going to be a huge issue.
I'm thinking too hard, apparently. Let's just take two boats.
We might have to, honestly.
It's probably the smart option. Plus, it never hurts to have a backup.
So you're stealing a second boat.
Stealing's like a strong
Such a
word.
hurtful word.
Borrow.
Acquiring.
Borrowing with every intent to return.
Yes.
Liberating.
You know what? That'll be a great excuse, and I'm sure the guard would love to hear.
We are ascending the boat to a higher plane of existence.
To the great boathouse in the sky.
Yes.
Paylor demands it.
Paylor low volt. Alright, so you row your dinghies up to the islands. As you're rowing it,
before we can get to the island, when it's in eyesight, Marion's gonna cast mage armor on herself just in case.
alright.
Who's in which boat? I'm actually genuinely really curious who would be together here.
Drazer takes up one all by himself, doesn't he?
Well, Drazer can wild shape though, like a squirrel, as we did last time.
If we've got two bows, why don't we have Drazer and Algalon in one, and then we'd have Minigard rowing with Marion, Thea, and Ralston in the other.
So Minigard's pretty big too, isn't he? Like 8 feet tall.
Yeah, they're about the same size.
Then
He's
let's
also
have
very heavy.
Ralston, Algalon, and Drazer in one, and Marion, Thea, and Minigard in another. So we got a big guy and two little guys in each.
You also have high confidence in the fact that Minigard would actually get close to Marion.
Closer than Drazer has. He's touched him, or touched her, even if it was before.
Yes, before the whole death curse shit started.
Hey, it's his problem.
Right. So, as you're rowing downstream
Merrily.
at the mouth of the river, you do see that every so often the lighthouse does shine itself down upon you. It doesn't look like it's lingering on you. It looks like it's kind of rotating around out to the harbor and back toward town and toward the river. But you do get caught in the beam on several occasions.
While they're rowing, the guy's gonna look over at the pair. Marion and Tia just.
Oh, just curious. You two are together. Is there, something between you two, or are you just friends?
Why is that the first thing you think of?
I'm casually making conversation with a scary-ass woman and a person who could talk.
Just row the fucking boat.
What do you think I'm doing? This is terrifying. You both know some sort of magic. You're both terrifying the fuck out of me.
Marion is just gonna turn around and stare at him, boring her gaze in his eyes, and say, "Is this preferable?"
No, absolutely not. I was just asking a casual conversation.
and turns back to the front of the boat.
This is what happens if you read erotic poetry before going to bed.
That is.
Benegard will just look over at Tia to see they're the more talkable of the pair.
So, are you two a thing or what?
We are partners, and that is all I will say on the matter, sir.
Oh, okay then.
Now, I guess it is only fair. Are you romantically involved in any one of your male friends, sir?
Absolutely not. The only person for me is my lady, and she is far away from here.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm sure she's fine.
Oh, if anyone asks the question, you and Marion are on a date.
What?
Oh, sorry. That's our cover story.
Marion would say bullshit, but she felt that might be insensitive given the company, so she herself.
Benegard will slow his rowing and just take a casual look to see how far the others are with their own boat.
Who else is on the boat? Who on the boat? Is it just me, is it just Thea, Marion, and Minigard on this boat?
Yep.
Well, Mr. Minigard, you are the only other male in this boat here, and I used the cover story. So it'd be very weird if I said that I'm the one dating her.
Since when was there
Marion
a
is
date in the first place?
gonna put her head in her hands and go, "Is this really necessary?"
No, but making conversation to pass the time by is what I usually do.
This is not how you do conversation. You don't just throw a fucking date on me for no fucking reason.
I would sooner date a mule.
I'd sooner go back to my lady and fight in the pits.
Next time, don't bring up people's romantic lives as the first conversation topic.
I don't know how to have a conversation, to be honest.
Marion just kind of turns back towards him, like throws her arms out and says, "Do I look like I get out a lot?"
I don't know.
Benegard,
Okay.
are you proficient in watercraft?
I am not, so no.
I don't think any of us are.
So roll strength.
Athletics?
No, it's not exactly athletics. It's
Gotcha.
not a race.
Is it something I can give a bardic inspiration die to?
No, because it's an extended action.
Maybe just like a dex or intelligence check, just strength check. Like you're smart enough to know how a boat works.
It's not a question of knowing how.
Well, it's a 6.
It's not theoretical. Have a wisdom mod?
I do. It's
Is
a
it?
1.
Okay. Who's piloting the other boat?
Probably be Drazer.
So Drazer roll strength.
14 plus 2 if we add wisdom.
You guys pass by this boat with 3 people just bickering at each other.
We're like, as we go by, we're like, bye, Minigar, enjoy your day.
Yeah. Yeah. Minigard like hits.
13. It'd be 13. That's a strength save. You're getting a proficiency bonus added to it.
Oh, sorry.
Minigard hits a couple of rocks, like shallow places in the river. It doesn't capsize the boat, but he's definitely distracted by this other bizarre conversation. Plus, he's probably not a particularly experienced rower. But which island are you heading to?
Well, which one do I feel like any sort of pull from any of the islands, or is it just in this area in general?
Just the area in general. Didn't really get a precise enough feeling.
Okay. Guess start at the closest one, I guess, and we can work our way down.
This little one here.
I would say go over the biggest one.
You gonna go to the biggest one? I mean, we tried the biggest one too. I guess, yeah, maybe just the one right below that little one.
So,
Biggest island there.
this one here.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. And where do you want to land?
Where are we arriving from? The river?
Yeah, you're arriving. Yeah, so you're coming from here.
Is there a map here?
Heading
I didn't see.
down.
I would say this section over here, like in this little bay here. I think that would be a nice little spot. That way we're
Yeah.
out of sight maybe of them.
Or just maybe even pull it into that little channel that goes between both the islands too, and leave it there, or down in that little bay area. Probably down there is better. More
Yeah, I think the
nestled
bay
in.
would be the best because you'll be away from this lighthouse here and then from the house over here.
Are you able to mark the area with like your paintbrush?
Is it a terrible idea? Well, I suppose it depends on how wide the river is.
I can't really see it because there's a bunch of measuring things. There we go.
There it goes.
Right there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Like right in the little bay area.
There you go.
I think someone was trying to say, would it be a horrible idea to go through here? I'm saying, like, go through the channel, perhaps.
Yeah, like that, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Right.
I had mine right there. Yeah.
Okay. So you pull in there and you disembark on the biggest island there.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, the island is pretty marshy. There are bits of reeds and cattails. I don't really see much else, at least from your vantage point there.
Do we have like 10 minutes to spare?
I mean, presumably, but since you waited until dusk to leave, at this point it's dark. So those of you who can't see in the dark, see, unless you put up some light sources.
I mean, if anyone's got a torch, Marion could just light it real quick.
I will produce flame
That'll work.
and hold it in my hand. Minigard, if you wish, I can give us dark vision for 8 hours.
If
I don't know
I
who
don't
else
think-
can't see though.
Tracer.
Marion can't either, but she has a thing for that once she's done with what she's doing.
well, I was going to say, maybe perhaps we could use torchlight for now, and then maybe perhaps.
Leah raises her hand
exactly,
as well
to-
as she can't see in the dark.
For shits and giggles, just to fucking scare Minigard as well, Marion is gonna stand up abruptly, just like she did, and she's gonna just reach out and tap him on the end of the nose and mutter something incomprehensible, and then he's glowing blue.
Just as he's reaching down to
Guessing-
pull out a torch, he'll start to light it just to see the face of her just like there. He'll instantly drop the torch, just fall back and send the boat flying upwards.
Robert, Thea makes sure that the torch does not fall in the boat and immediately tries to get it out.
Yeah, I'm guessing, given his wariness, that would probably be an attack roll.
I think there's something special for light here.
Thea, seeing the torch fall into the boat here, she just casts prestidigitation to snuff it out.
Jesus, my saves are terrible. It's a Dex 11 save. If he gets it, then I can't touch him with light, and he doesn't get lit up.
The moment the blue light comes onto him, he's just gonna start screaming out, "She put the torch on me!" And then he's just gonna jump into the water.
Well, you're still glowing, so it's this wonderful bioluminescent.
Minotaur.
Now, if you look to your left, you'll see the majestic sea cow.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, you do hear, what you would expect to be swamp sounds, and most of you have been to the swamp. So yeah, I mean, I guess it is pretty cold by this time of year, but yeah, I mean, you heard some croaking, and
We are looking for
like these Yeah, and the croaking just kind of ends as this altercation is happening. So the only thing that you hear are these weird popping sounds.
Okay, popping sound?
Yeah, coming from water, as far as you can tell.
Marion is
Guard
going
is still
to
under the water.
definitely get out of the boat and get on dry land, or I guess soggy land in this case.
Yeah.
To me, kind of gazing out at the water, seeing if I can identify where the sound's coming from.
It seems to be coming from the water.
You have a floating Minigard in there.
Thea picks up the snuffed out torch and gets out of the boat following the light of the others.
Marion's going to prestidigitation the torch and light it up.
Okay.
Minigard's still under the surface.
Man, he can hold his breath for a while, can't he?
He's in the water?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
He dived in the moment that the blue light went on. He thinks he's been cursed.
Alright. So yeah, you kind of have been making quite a racket. So you see at this point that there are two balls of light are moving toward you, moving toward the boat. Actually,
I think we
not
got
from
will-o-wisps.
the island that you're just disembarking on, but from this middle island here.
It's
Marion is going to turn off her light spell on Minigard.
Thea prestidigitates the torch out.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do as well.
let's get these boats hidden too. Really drag them up.
Yeah.
Minigard
They seem to be moving rather quickly.
Is there like some grass we can hide in? Is there some type of cover in the area?
You can attempt.
We're Russians, right? Like cattails. Can we kind of like nestle into them just for cover?
You can attempt to do that, but as we seem to be heading into some sort of action, considering we're already at 11:30, I think we should probably carry that over into next time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
Sure.
fine.
The moment that the light goes, there will be a sound of Minigard coming up to resurface.
Yeah, they might actually be upon you before you resurface.
Oh.
Can Minigard see in the dark?
Nope.
Because Marion just turned off his nightlight.
I think I'm pretty much the only person in our party at this point that can see in the dark.
That is
These
so
things-
rare in 5e, honestly.
Not wrong.
These lights are pretty bright that are approaching.
Brighter than what a
Do
lantern
they
or torch
look
would give
like,
off.
yeah, do they like torchlight? Or...
They're like lantern lights.
Okay, so it's not like obviously magical light that, you know, someone with magical training who's make magical lights could, you know, make a good guesstimate. That's not from a fire.
It's kind of hard to tell. Guess whoever has magical training can.
I mean, I could make an Arcana check.
Yeah, that would work.
All right.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's really like nothing you've seen before. I mean, it's just like these glowing balls of light. They don't appear to be lanterns that are carried by someone. They appear to just kind of be floating toward you, apparently over the water, rather quickly. And you can actually kind of hear, almost sounds like those insect killer things. Every so often you hear It's weird buzzing.
Oh, a zapper.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Are those what I think they are?
Make
I
a
don't know.
nature check to see if I can recognize what this is.
Maybe
Have to be
Arcana.
Arcana. It has to be Arcana for them.
I think
You
I
can
think-
roll.
Could I try
Yeah, I'll
nature
give it
as
a
well?
shot.
Since I'm proficient in it.
Give her a whirl.
I'll give it a shot too.
Nope.
I guess as well. Nope.
Damn, 2 of those an advantage.
I have to be proficient in it.
This is like nothing you've ever seen.
I figured.
I don't think you have to be proficient with it. Honestly, that makes.
Oh no, I'm just saying because everyone's fucking rolling, and I don't want to just be that guy that says, "Yeah, I'm gonna roll for it." No, I'm just
Well, you were
genuinely curious.
kind of in the water.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're like underwater currently.
Yeah.
So I don't really see it that much. I just see some lights.
Yep.
Yep.
The only floating balls I can think of though are nuns are going to be very unfun.
Yep. Me too. Out of game.
I know. Of course, it's out of game. Of course. But
Yeah. Well, I mean, the feeling that you're getting as they're coming toward you is a decidedly unfun feeling.
Great.
Are they coming towards us even after we snuff the light? Or are they heading towards where Minigard's making all the noise?
One of them seems to be heading toward Minigard. The other one seems to be heading toward where the rest of you are trying to hide in the reeds.
Tracer's going to cast protection from evil on himself.
All right. Any casting that
Wait till the
Wanna-
next turn.
is gonna have to happen next time.
But your
All I'll
reminder,
do is this.
yeah. And don't forget to use up that holy water you got there for it too.
You don't mind
Try
myself.
to get out of sight
Again,
too.
Does Minigard at least recognize the balls of light above the surface, or
No.
no? Even with the 14 perception? Okay.
He perceives there are balls of light coming towards him.
Yeah, there's something glowing. Do I
Yeah.
know what the fuck
Wow,
it
that
is?
would be
Absolutely
Great
not.
accent in the living room.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you guys all next week.
Yep.
All right, yeah. See you
care.
next week.
I will see you next week. For all I know, these glowing balls are more of that witch's curses and shit. Fuck.
Yeah,
Bye,
she's
Jared. Thank you for
trying to be nice.
nice to meet you, man.
Yeah,
Yep.
you know,
Yeah.
All right.
Pleasure.
Likewise.
See you guys next week.
Yeah, see you next week. Yeah,
have a
thank
good
you.
one. Thank you for the session.
Thank you for the session.
You as well.
Welcome to the group.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you. I was
And
trying to
everyone in chat, thanks everybody for hanging out.
help out TSM.
See you guys